without Jeremy, Nina. I can't believe it. It's like there's a quarter cast without the main quarter.
The
How are you
women's
doing,
have taken.
Nina?
I'm good. The women's have taken over. It's
Yes.
over.
It's good. I like that you're joining us here on Thursday, which is traditionally another of our Estrocast days. Melanie Max away today, so we have lovely Nina joining us, and Jeremy is off, taking care of his tractor, or his farm, or German Shepherd. Who knows what he's up to? But he'll be back shortly, so we're just going to hold down the fort while he is gone. Nina, to start, do you want to tell everybody who's listening a little about yourself, and we'll jump into some news?
Sure. What's going on, everyone? I'm Nina Infinity. I have a channel on YouTube and Rumble, thanks to Jeremy, because I was like, what's alt tech?
Jeremy is like
back in the
Rumble
day.
evangelist. It's so
Yeah,
funny.
for sure. And then so I signed up obviously for Rumble, which is kind of pulled me out of a jam once or twice when my YouTube channel got banned, which we're going to be talking about actually, I
Yeah.
think today. So I do a show on Wednesdays where I break down crazy stuff that's going on in the world, and talk about politics and pop culture and stuff like that. And then on Fridays I balance out my show on the Wednesday by white pilling people and telling people that there's still hope out there and there's still good humans. And that's my Friday show called Good News Infinite Hope, which Jeremy raids quite often. So hello, everybody. Welcome.
That's so exciting. I'm glad that you're here. Obviously I'm Hannah Claire. If you guys haven't seen the show before, I hang out here on most days of the week. Nina, I want to ask you, since you do a little bit of all kinds of news, do you want to start with something more political or more something pop culture while we wait for Jeremy the Slacker to join us?
Whatever you like. This is your show. I am here to
It is my show.
support
Thank you. No, I'm just
you.
kidding. It's Jeremy's show. We'll start off with a little bit of news, and maybe if we
Sure.
need to, we'll pivot to something I think is more fun, or at least more pop culture. So I
Sure.
don't know if you saw this story, but there is a Democrat in Congress who is trying to impeach RFK Jr. Do you have an opinion on good old RFK?
I haven't seen this. I do have an opinion on RFK. I've always been well, not always, but I've been a fan for a while. I think what he's been doing about, well, they call it Maha now. But the like with regards to especially like his vaccine research and things like that, I've been a fan, especially since COVID, because he was one of the only people that was, just pointing out how, well, we can say it, how retarded everyone was acting. And I'm glad the word retard is back. But yeah, I've been a fan. Obviously, there's things that, I disagree with once in a while. Like, I mean, he
For
is
sure.
a socialist, and I'm not that big
You're
of
not
a
into
fan of
that? That's
that.
not your
Yeah,
vibe?
I'm not really that big of a fan of that aspect. You can't agree and disagree. Like, you can't agree with everybody on everything, right?
Right.
But I think he's doing great work, and I think it's important. I especially like his policies about, making people healthy, like taking out the dyes in the food, and just getting back to, like, taking out what's it called? Like, he wants to switch to the better oils, like avocado oil, and like
Yeah.
taking out like
The
vegetable
seed oils.
oil and stuff like that. Yeah, exactly. Like
Yeah.
I think those things are really important, especially for for moms who want to feed their kids and have them be healthy, because the medical industry is a business, and they're in the business of keeping you sick. So
Right.
and
I
that's
agree
what I
with
believe.
you. I think that RFK's interest in nutrition and his belief that higher quality ingredients could improve the overall health is one of the best parts of his interest in improving American health. Like, I agree with you. There are things that I wouldn't have voted for him for president. He has policies that I wouldn't agree with, but it is interesting that he is devoted to improving health and actually gets a lot of flack for it, when I don't think all of his positions are as crazy as some people think they are. So speaking of
Hmm.
someone who thinks his positions are crazy, I'm going to read you a little bit of this article since I'm
Sure.
surprising you with a topic today. This is Representative Haley Stevens. She's a Democrat from Michigan. She announced that she would introduce articles of impeachment against Health and Human Services Secretary Robert F. Kennedy Jr. due to, quote, healthcare chaos under his watch. So she wrote on X, healthcare chaos, reckless cuts, rising costs. Michiganders and families across the country are paying the price for RFK's agenda. Enough is enough. which is why I'm drafting articles of impeachment against Secretary Kennedy. So she has been, this article goes on to point out, against Kennedy the whole time. She has called for his removal before. To me, this feels a little bit more like personal vendetta. I mean, if you
Mhm.
knew you didn't like someone going into office and you just decided to wait, how long into this administration are we? 8 months to
Mhm.
file impeachment articles? Like, you're looking for an excuse to justify
100%.
something you already wanted to do.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it is funny too, like, because, the stuff that they point out to is like remember when, like, he just came into office? I think it was when he just came into office, or when he was about to be, like, okay to basically get the job. Remember, like, how, like, they came out with all this stuff about how he was having an affair, with Cheryl, and, like,
Oh,
or
yeah.
like,
For someone was like, there was someone accused him of having an affair with him, and he was like, "This is not true at all." Some, like, lady journalist. Do you remember that?
yeah, yeah, yes, yes. That whole thing, like, he was like, and I mean, like, yeah, he's a Kennedy, so it's like, yeah, it's well known that the Kennedys, kind of like women. That's fine.
That's
But
their thing.
obviously, yeah, it's like they're kind of known for that. But it's like his wife had already, like, known and forgiven him for whatever, extracurriculars that he had done, and it had nothing to do at all with his health proposals and, like, the things that are, but they were trying to take him
Yeah.
down so hard for
Mhm.
those personal things, and it, like, that all points to when somebody's doing something right and the government wants to, make people hate them, they'll go to personal attacks, they'll go to personal things. So whatever she
Right.
said here, like the healthcare chaos, reckless cuts, and rising costs, and blah blah blah, like, dude, the rising costs has a lot to do with the economy. Like, it has nothing
Mhm.
to do like his policies aren't affecting what she is claiming here as much as
Right.
she's trying to make it seem that way. At least, like, to me, that's not
That's
what's
what it
going
seems
on.
like to me as well. I think one of the problems with being an innovator is that you do get a target on your back, and I think
Yeah.
ever since obviously he launched his presidential campaign as a Democrat and then eventually was like, I'm going to be an independent. And
Yeah.
for probably you and me, we were like, okay, but that's mostly a Democrat, right? Except now when he like backed Trump, he got his cabinet position. Maybe if maybe I don't want him to be in charge of, I don't know, the Second Amendment. I don't know that I'd agree with him on certain things. But in this
Mhm.
capacity, it seems like he is in his element and is actually unifying a lot of Americans. I mean, not wanting dyes in your processed food products or whatever. That is like every left-wing hippie I've ever known has talked about that.
I
It's
know. Remember when the lefties used to care about, like, Monsanto and, like, the
yeah,
kind of shit that they were putting? Because I remember I was a lefty then, like, because I'm originally from Vancouver, Canada, so we're all
I
fucking
have
hippies
family in
over
that
there,
area.
you know?
Yeah.
But, West Coast hippies, man, like, we're all a bunch
Mhm.
of tree huggers over there, and we actually cared about, what was being put in our food, and, back
Right.
then, the libs cared. They were like, "We don't want Monsanto, we don't
Right.
want all this bullshit." But
My like British Columbia based family in Canada is the one of the first people I knew who'd be like, well, that's not really organic. Like that's not
yeah.
organic enough. Like the purity standard for food was high. And actually I appreciate it now because,
Mhm.
I was a little kid. I had no idea what they're talking about. But as you become an adult and you want to make as many healthy choices as possible, like this, it makes a big difference. And I agree with you. There is they don't like what he's saying, but they also just try to smear RFK with his like personal history. I know they talked about like his split from his first wife. No one really seems to go after his like history with drugs, but like that's maybe because it's like he's in, there are lots of people who struggle with addiction and then go through recovery. But
Oh,
it
yeah,
seems
that was
like
another thing that they were trying to, like, throw shade, being like, "Oh, he's a drug addict," like, all
yeah.
this stuff.
Well,
Yeah, I
and it's
remember
like,
that.
yes, so are so many people in America. Let us talk about the fentanyl crisis. Like
Yeah.
this is not the slam dunk you think it is. And even with this call for impeachment, which I personally don't think will go anywhere. I'm sure there are lots of
I
Democrats
don't
who
think
will
so.
like sign up to support it, but I don't think, especially in a Republican controlled chamber, like it's not gonna gain steam. I don't think.
I don't think so.
Even these things that this Democratic congressman is saying seem vague to me. So she said,
Mhm.
this is from September 15th. Michiganders are tired of politicians who chase attention and ignore real problems. I've seen enough chaos from this administration and from Secretary Kennedy. Like, oh, so
This
you just don't like this administration,
Yeah,
you
dude,
know?
this chick, like, her governor was like Whitmer, okay? Like, are we talking really? Are we talking about politicians who don't give a shit and, like, do, like, the complete opposite of whatever it is that they say? Like, go talk to Whitmer about that, 'cause, that's who your governor is.
Yeah,
Freaking
I agree. I
ridiculous.
think that's one of the issues. Also, I don't know how you feel with this, but like I get tired of like we're all gonna try and impeach everyone all the time. Republicans do this too. They'll like constantly be
Yeah.
like, "I'm gonna impeach you and that one and over here," and I filed the articles of impeachment. It sort of like takes the gravity out of it for me.
Yeah,
They
of
don't really
course.
go anywhere, and also it just seems like I get it. You all hate each other. You know, this seems like a waste of 15 minutes in Congress.
Yeah, totally. That is definitely something that's always been fascinating to me about, like what's it called? Like the American system, like the whole idea of like, let's impeach the president every 5 seconds. I mean, they were doing that with like Trump. The Republicans tried to do that, but with Biden, it's just a
Hmm.
complete like they're always trying to do it. I think that obviously the biggest one was like Bill Clinton, but they tried to impeach him over the whole Monica Lewinsky thing, and really
Right.
nothing that was actually of any consequence in regards to his policies, but it was like,
Right.
You got a blow job. We
Well,
need to impeach you."
and I can understand, like, it's not that I don't I think there probably are times when, like, an impeachment inquiry is necessary, but
Yeah,
especially in the last, like, 10 years, it seems like it's more about political theater and
I
wasting
agree.
time, and
It's a
that's what
kangaroo
bothers me
court.
about this RFK thing, like, I don't think it'll go anywhere, but on the other hand, like, okay, we get it. You hate him and you're so virtuous that you have tried to remove him. Like, is that serving the people of your state the best that it could be? Or did you just spend like, several days drafting this resolution when you could have been doing something else?
Yeah, you could have been doing something better with your time, but hey, yeah, this is what politicking is all about now, I
Yeah,
think.
that's
It's
true.
just,
I agree.
and especially with regards to like pitting people against each other. It's a constant like, let's pit the right against the left, and
Mhm.
really at the end of the day, who benefits the most is the people in power on both sides. Like
Right.
that's the only thing that the people who benefit. And with all this stuff, the most people who benefit are lawyers. Like any that's who's they're getting richer. They got to
Yeah.
represent her. They got to represent RFK, and that's who's getting paid.
The lawyer class in America is like, no, don't stop fighting. We
Yeah,
gotta buy summer
exactly.
houses. What are you doing?
We got to do
Well,
it.
speaking of people in power, I'm gonna pivot to a pop culture topic, which I don't know if you're up to date on. So if we might be getting a live reaction from you.
Ooh, okay.
Um, you know, I don't know how much you follow Sweet Sweet Taylor Swift, but she has a stalker who has apparently disappeared right before she was served with a permanent restraining order. So there's this
Ooh.
guy I mean, she's a famous pop star, right? I'm sure a lot of famous pop stars have stalkers and have to deal with this
Mhm.
horrible part of the job, I assume. Um, she is being stalked by this guy who claims that she is the mother of his child, and that seems confusing to me because as far as we know, she doesn't have any
Wait,
children.
is this different than the guy who went there to serve her with papers with regards to the Balzoni
Yes.
case?
Yes, it is different, but they're connected. So
Oh,
she has this stalker and he like somehow got it so he could like change his address on his ID to one of her houses. Like he's very creepy. She got a temporary
that's
restraining order,
crazy.
and then I guess in the last week or two she got like a full-blown 5-year stay away from her kind of one. And he disappeared. He is like gone. No one knows where he is. And so
Ooh,
she's had
crazy.
heightened security. So when they had this guy come to serve her for whatever, although that one gets weirder and weirder all the time because I guess he entered the house. She's basically on like high alert for someone trying to maybe attack her, which
Mhm.
we live. I think stalker stories are so interesting for celebrities, and all of chat is like, stop talking about Taylor Swift, and I respect it. Yeah, you bring Jeremy in here, and he'll stop this. But we live in this day and age of really serious parasocial relationships with
Yes.
people on the internet.
Yeah.
And famous people probably have always had stalkers, but now
Yeah.
you have people who can like find your home more easily or show up where you are. What do you make of this situation, or just generally people's obsession with famous people?
Well, I think that I mean, this is fascinating to me. I'm not a Swiftie. Like, she's all right. Like for me, it's like
She's
whatever.
all right. Yeah.
I don't care. Like, there's been a bunch of times where I'm like at the store and I'm like, oh, I kind of like the song. I wonder who that is. And then I realize it's Taylor Swift, and I'm like,
Yeah.
oh, never mind.
You like
But
her a respectable amount. She's generic pop star. I get
yeah,
that.
exactly. And also, but I do respect her work ethic and I do respect the amount of hours she puts in. I mean, she is the biggest pop star on earth. And I think that like I respect that kind of stuff. I
Mhm.
don't respect Blake Lively and people who lie and cheat and use their power to get stuff. That's a totally different story. With regards to stalkers, I mean, obviously, I think stalkers are fucking weird. And
Mhm.
I think that, I mean, celebrity culture is just so strange to me, just generally speaking. And I've always found it strange that people like kind of revere celebrities to a point where it becomes kind of like a church to them, like that they
Yeah.
really just really think like these people are kind of like gods and they listen to everything they say and blah blah blah. And I've always thought that was weird. But I think like what really put celebrity stalkers into perspective for me was years ago when I heard the story about um what's her name? The chick from oh god, I always forget this chick's name. The one that wore the swan outfit at the Oscars, the Asian chick. God, what is her
Oh,
name? The
what
chat
is
will
her
know.
name? Does chat
But
know?
I'm sure the chat hold on. I'm just gonna put swan outfit
Yeah, come on, we gotta
Oscars.
find this girl.
That her story was crazy. Bjork. Her name is Bjork.
Yes.
Her story was crazy because this stalker dude basically like kind of like sent her a bomb. Like it was like this
Yes. I
whole
just listened
thing.
to a podcast on this, and he
It was
was, like,
mental.
found deceased in his apartment, like, painted face, very weird. He had, like, I think either bipolar or schizophrenia and was, like, really losing
Yeah.
it, but he was able to obtain her address. Like, he
Yeah.
was able to mail a bomb
Bomb to her.
to London.
Yeah, it was crazy. That story was mad, and he would stalk her all the time, and it was
Mhm.
like they even made, like, an anime, it's called Perfect Blue, like, the movie is, loosely based on that story, like,
Oh,
the
really?
story of the stalker and how he stalks this, like, kinda like pop star or whatever. And I think those things I do think those things should be taken seriously. If somebody is making this amount of effort to kind of like get into your life and
Mhm.
like whoever you are, those things should be taken seriously, especially when you're a celebrity because well, like you are, you're famous and there's all sorts of creeps that want to do something else. And honestly, the mental health in the world right now is at a drastic place right now with
Yeah.
especially with regards to like how many pills we're putting kids on and everything like that it's bound to make weird adults so I think these things should be taken completely seriously and I whatever the stalker if he gets arrested or whatever good throw the book at him.
Yeah, I mean, this is the hardest thing, which is, like, stalking in this day and age. When it comes to celebrity stalking, it's like this horrible storm of usually some kind of mental instability, mental
Mhm.
illness,
Mhm.
and then also, like, overexposure through the media. Because the
Mhm.
Bjork story, that happened in what was it, the early
It was
'2000s?
yeah, it was a long time ago. I think
And
that was in the 90s.
right, and he was still able to, like, keep up with her through magazines and find whatever information on her, like, I feel like now it's probably even worse and more dangerous because
Mhm.
there is never a time that you have to be away from your celebrity idol, and again, like, you don't have to be a huge Taylor Swift fan, you don't have to, like, freak out about this story, but I find the idea that she has a stalker in the wind, and there's a couple headlines, like you can see this one here, it's talking about she was going to a Chiefs game, and there was I guess a bulletproof or a big wall hiding her, and it's in
Mhm.
part because of celebrity, but then also you can see Daily Mail is or the Sun is kind of alluding to it because we are in this weird time where there are people who are kind of terminally online and make horrible, horrible, violent choices. And we're seeing Charlie Kirk's face featured in this
Yeah.
article. And so we get this like, it's not just like the pretty models on the cover or the pop star. It's like anyone with a large platform could develop an unhinged stalker and have to
Yeah.
make really scary decisions about what kind of life and movement they're going to have in the world.
I'm
Uh,
surprised she doesn't have more because she's just so I mean, she's so famous, like, around the world, so
right.
I'm actually, like, kinda surprised that she only has 1, like,
I
1
think
or
she might
2.
have more. I knew there was a story about like a man breaking into her New York City apartment multiple times and like sleeping in her bed, which
Wasn't
like
that the same guy, though?
I don't
Like,
know if this was the same one. And then there was, when she had a concert, I think in Scotland on her last tour, they were using like CCTV footage to scan the faces for, I assume more than one stalker, but maybe it's just
Right.
one. You know, if she's a billionaire, so she has all
Yeah.
kinds of money to spend on security. If you're just like an internet celebrity, you may not have the same resources, but
No.
you
That's
know,
like it regarding stalkers and, like, basically, like, online bullying, like, that was another thing. Gina Carano posted recently something about that, but it was, like, hers was more about, like, online stalkers, because I
mm,
don't think it had manifested yet into real life, but
yeah,
she
I
was
hope
bringing
not.
attention to that, a couple of months ago because, like, when she got canceled, like, obviously she got a lot of hate and backlash
Mhm,
and stuff like that. So a lot of haters started to like harass her and then to a point where they like started finding her family and like, contacting her family members and like all the stuff. And she was saying like we have literally zero protection, especially when it's like people from other countries doing it because she's
mhm,
she's obviously she's American. So she's like,
right,
where's my protection when someone from like, you know, let's say Mexico or wherever. I don't remember
right,
what country she stated, but she was like, an outsider is like basically threatening me and my family, and like I have
right.
nothing, like there's no recourse. And
I
I'm like,
think
what was
even
the point of Interpol again? Like that, like shouldn't we have
what are you guys up to?
something?
Right,
Yeah,
and I think, even, like, interstate can be difficult, like, if you live in Kentucky, but you get a threatening email or text or something from someone based in California, like, you call your local police who can do what about
right.
it? Um,
Jurisdiction issues are so like kind of retarded when it comes that to that. Like it's like
yeah.
they're like, oh, we can't help you. Sorry. Like, just
Yeah,
call your local police. And then your local police is like, some online people are threatening you. Okay. Like
well,
we'll
and,
make a
like, even if
record.
they wanted to help you, like, what are they gonna do? That person's not, like, a lot of the laws around crimes are written so that, like, if the person is physically in front of you,
Yeah, they're
like,
like, call us when they show up. And it's
which,
like,
like,
oh,
if they
but
show up, you're like, "We're too far into this,
yeah,
man."
that might be too late. They might be there
Yeah,
to kill me. Okay.
seriously.
Like that's not helpful.
You're like, "This is the worst." Do you so you said you were liberal at one point. You're from Canada.
I live in Mexico now. That's why I mentioned Mexico because
Oh, Mexico's a
I
fun
live in
place.
Cancun.
Okay.
I
During
I
Mexico's last election, I was on a different podcast talking to someone who was living in Mexico, but he's American. And at the
mhm,
time, NPR was running all of these like coverage of the election, and they were saying that there were like an unprecedented number of political assassinations. And I
mm,
said, and that's NPR, like state funded, like normal. It's
mhm,
not like online conspiracy theories. And I said this to
mhm,
this guy, and he was like, "Yeah, I don't know anything about that. It's not true." Do you feel
no,
safe
it's
living in
true.
Mexico? I'm curious.
Oh, absolutely. I feel very safe. It's, a
That's good.
lot more safe than places like even like Chicago, or New York, going to the subway. It's, especially safe in where I am in
Mhm,
Quintana Roo. Yes, obviously there's like Mexico is a massive country, so there's definitely like places there that are not the
mhm.
same. Like for example, like if
Same with the
you
US.
compare it to the United States, like, let's say where Jeremy lives in the Midwest, it's pretty safe compared
Mhm.
to a place like, I don't know, like, Compton and or like,
Right.
in LA, like Tent City. Like you don't want to be caught dead there at night. So it's that kind of thing here as well, where there's like just places and provinces that are completely like cartel controlled and completely unsafe. And then there's places that like here that are very safe. And even the cartel kind of watch what they do here because they realize that tourist money is kind of what
It's
makes their
important.
life go round. So they don't
That's
want the
fascinating.
tourists to be scared to come to Mexico. And They also, like, if there's any kind of violence, usually it's very targeted. Like, civilians don't usually get murdered, and if they do, it's usually because they had something to do with the cartel or like they fucked over the
Interesting.
cartel. So most of the time, it's like if you keep your nose clean, they're not gonna bother you, you know?
Okay.
But most of the time, like I said, but political stuff is a little bit different, obviously, because again, like the political sphere in Mexico is that the unofficial government is the cartel. So,
Mm,
but the official government and then the unofficial government work together hand in hand to do things, and
yeah.
especially in certain what's it called, like less populated areas in Mexico, like the cartel actually do take on a governing role, like meaning like they fund to make schools and they fund to make hospitals
Yeah.
and they actually take care of people. It's kind of like the mob. Like, I don't know if you've ever
No,
studied the Italian mob, but it's very
yeah.
similar like
Well,
that.
so my parents are immigrants to the US, and when they were first married, they were living in New York City and they wanted to buy property, and so they had a real estate agent showing them around various places, and one was Brooklyn. And
Mhm.
I don't know which neighborhood it is, but they were like, you know, looking at whatever, a house or something, an apartment, and the real estate agent was like, and this neighborhood is incredibly safe because it's all controlled by the mob. And
Right.
my dad and
Yeah.
mom were like, okay,
Come
interesting.
again?
Like, she was like, so the same way she'd be like, "And you're just a block from the subway and, like,
Right.
new oven," like, it was like, "Here is a bonus, an amenity of this house."
Yeah.
I mean, and, like, there is a reason that people, you know, there was a reason that some people felt like those organizations can offer them protection, you know? I mean,
Mhm.
it's, not always good, but okay, so you're in Mexico. Uh, what are your thoughts on Donald Trump from abroad? Are you having a good time? You think he's,
Um,
amusing
it's
fun?
I have mixed feelings on Donald Trump, just like I have mixed feelings pretty much about like any politician. I'm very
Sure.
black pilled on politicians and very black pilled on the federal government general. And you can say that what about any federal government, whether that's the United States, the Canadians, whether that's Mexicans, obviously, whether
Yeah.
that's Iranians, which is my nationality because I'm a Iranian, like that's where I was born. So like any type of government usually really lets people down.
Mhm.
And so with regards to Donald Trump, I think that, Donald Trump again has like some things that I love and I agree with completely. And then he does stuff that I'm like, oh my God, I disagree wholeheartedly, like so it's just again, like with
Yeah.
RFK, it's just the same. Like, sometimes he disappoints and
Some
sometimes
wins,
he's a
some
he's a
losses.
win. Yeah.
Okay, well then tell me if this was a win in your eyes. So yesterday, Donald Trump's team unveiled the Presidential Walk of Fame, and it was pictures of all of the presidents. But then between Trump's first portrait and his current portrait, there was a picture of the auto pen instead of Joe Biden.
I
Are you
have
like?
not seen this.
Have you not
That's
seen
so
this?
funny.
Okay,
No.
I'll look for a better picture of it. Here, we'll play this video here. I don't have the audio on, but you can see it's like Ronald Reagan, some other
Okay.
presidents, all good times. And then we get to Bill Clinton. We're walking, George W. Bush,
I like it
Barack
so far. That's
Obama.
pretty
It's pretty
cool.
classy, right? There's the
Yeah.
first Donald Trump portrait. This is the auto pen. And then we get the current Donald Trump portrait.
So he just skipped Biden altogether?
Well, Biden famously used the auto pen to sign a lot of his executive
Right. Yeah,
orders.
so he just
So they
put,
think
like,
he's
the
saying
auto.
that's who was really in charge. Uh, there's a lot of like meme like culture. There's a lot of
That's
like
funny.
giving people a hard time. What do you think of this?
It's very Donald Trump. Like, I think it's just a very he's a funny guy. Like,
Mhm.
he is an entertainer. I personally don't think is in good taste because I think it's like, you still want to if it's something that people are gonna be, like, watching or whatever, like, if you're walking down that hallway and you're like a student learning about the
Right.
presidents, it would be nice to have the actual picture of the president.
Sure.
But then again, like, I think this is just very up Donald Trump's alley. Like, this is what I'm talking about. Like, sometimes, like, he'll do things where I'm like, "Can we get some adults in the room? Like, what
Yes.
is going on?" So, like, sometimes, like, I'll be like, "Oh my god," but so at the same time, like, I'm laughing, not like it's not funny. I'm just
Yeah.
like,
It's
is
kind
this
of funny that they
really
went
what
to
we want
all
to
this
be?
effort for this joke,
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
all of the presidents, and then it's, like, just to dunk on Biden, to be like,
Yeah,
"And you were
totally.
the auto pen president, you weren't really doing anything." And I agree with you, there is, like, a the criticism, I would assume, is, like, "This is the White House, it's serious, like, you are,
Yes.
you" like, I think if he run this past Melania Trump? Was she like, "Donald, this is ridiculous.
Yeah.
The White House is supposed to be a place of dignity." Or was everyone like, "This is so funny because we have to underscore the fact that, there are really serious criticisms of the Biden administration." Like, is
Yeah.
this a subtle way to point out, something we talked a lot about at the beginning of Trump's term, which is that people had questions about Biden's competency
Mhm.
and the idea that he wasn't actually running the government was a serious concern for a lot of people who ultimately supported Trump.
Right, and, like, we have to also think once he's out of power and, at some point, the Democrats will come into power again, so, how would he feel when they put his, like, mug shot as the photo and then,
Right.
replace that with and then, like, put Biden's, obviously, photo there, and then just, like, replace it with his mug shot or whatever, or, like, maybe even I don't know, whatever, right? Like, it just feels like this is such a childish back and forth between the
Mhm.
left and the right, I feel like, where it's like, this is what I'm talking about, like, where's the adults in the room? Because
Yeah.
everything that you do at one point or another will turn around and will be done to you. So it's like
Right.
this
The
pendulum is
pendulum
just gonna
swings
keep
back.
going. Yeah. And
Right.
and
Eh,
and this is
did you
just another
follow
one.
Did you follow that story? The Colorado State House, all the state houses have a picture of their governor and of the president. And in Colorado, they had like a very ugly, I would say not accurate picture of Trump. And they were kind of forced after it was like posted online and people were mad about it, forced to replace it with a different portrait of
I
Trump.
recall
Uh,
something like that, but I don't remember what the portrait looked like. But I remember
it
he was, like,
made him
really
look
ugly.
really fat. That's what I remember about it. It didn't really look like him other than it was like a white blonde guy. But it was this thing, like, people were like, "He's so furious about it, he looks ugly," and to your end, like, that's be I assume it was done intentionally, but we can't say for sure, I guess. Maybe the artist was just
Yeah.
not that good. But to your point, like, what are the Democrats gonna do when they're in power? If you're
Mhm.
upset by this,
Mhm.
maybe, you're just a if you're saying this is okay, then are you saying it's okay for them to do an equal and opposite kind of reaction?
Yeah.
Uh,
I
Weirdly, I
do
think
think
Trump
I
is
I actually do think that the hallway thing is actually a nice idea. Like, I like that
oh, yeah.
idea of having all the president's portraits, like, kinda, like, there. I think
Yeah,
that's
it's
a great idea just generally speaking. And somebody
yeah.
in the chat said that, like, he does have his mugshot up. I thought that was, like, the
Well,
regular
if you look
presidential
at
photo.
his presidential portrait, like so this is the first one, and he has, like,
Yeah,
a nice little should make this bigger, nice little, like, mean mug sort of,
right.
and
Is the next
then
one the mugshot one?
I have always heard that, so yes, a close up on Joe Biden. I have heard that this is the mugshot, just, like, made into a presidential
Oh.
portrait. I don't know if that's true or he just photographs exactly the same way, if he gave his mugshot face, so to speak.
Right.
Um, he did Do you remember so when he was, being charged in Georgia, there was, like, this moment that people thought we'd get the perp walk and he was gonna get his mugshot, and the so that he goes to Georgia, they take his mugshot photo, and then his team immediately released it on, like, T-shirts and mugs.
Yeah, I kinda remember that. I'm
So
looking
if
at the mugshot photo, that's not the same photo.
Okay, okay.
Like, because he's making a little bit of a different face in the mugshot photo, like, he's going like this.
Yeah, and it was
So
lower
it's
quality, like, this looks crisper.
yeah,
But
yeah.
look it up, like, they sold mugshot merch of Trump, like, as
Oh,
a
yeah, yeah, I
fundraiser,
remember that. The
which is
mugshot merch, oh, yeah, I remember it was all over the place.
it was so funny, and I think
Mhm.
that's, like, if they did hang his mugshot up, I don't know that he would be upset about it.
He might
Um,
laugh.
Maybe
Yeah,
just ugly photos he would be upset about.
yeah,
That might
yeah.
be the only
That
thing.
kind of reminds me of that Simpsons episode back in the day when, Mr. Burns got, Marge to paint him, and then, like, she painted, like, that skinny, like, like, naked dude or whatever, and he was
What?
like, "This is what people think of me." It was, like, a whole thing. It's a very old Simpsons episode.
I didn't watch The Simpsons very much, but it is an institution. I'm sure Chat's getting the reference. Chat's used to the fact that I never get any references.
Oh,
They put up with me. Um, are you on TikTok at all?
No, I mean, yes, like I have an account, but I don't use TikTok. No, I don't. I'm more of a Twitter person than anything. Well,
Mhm.
X now, I guess. I
It's
don't know what
funny
they
how,
call
like, different platforms speak to different people's personalities or strengths.
it. Yeah.
I am scared of TikTok because of China, so I'm not
Mm.
on it. But I appreciate that it has brought a whole level of creativity and sort of like the way that Vine used to be punchy videos. Like it's revived that in culture.
I was never on Vine, but I can tell you this Instagram is probably like the worst one. Like, man, I cannot stand Instagram. That place is a
Really?
freaking
Why?
cesspool. Because it's like it depends on your like a lot it depends a lot on your algorithm, obviously, of what you look
Mhm.
up. But like, for example, for me, like my entire Instagram is like curly hair routines, so most of the like everything I like look down is like check out
Yeah.
this new curly hair method or whatever. But like then you watch like one thing, right? Like it's just a random thing, and then your entire algorithm becomes like that one thing that you're
Yeah.
like maybe even hated to watch, and you're
Yeah.
like, oh my god, like why do I keep getting all
Like, if
these,
someone
you know?
sends you a reel and you're like, "I don't really like this," Instagram's like, "I
Yeah.
don't care, you're gonna have 27
Yeah,
more of them." Uh,
exactly.
for a
It's so
while, I
shit.
really prided myself on the fact that my X account, as you guys can imagine, it's, like, mostly news and politics, but my Instagram account was just beautifully non-political. It
Mhm.
mostly thought I was, like, a young Mormon bride-to-be. It would, like, show me Mormon wedding dresses and, like, Zion National Park. I was having a great time. Like,
That's
it was
great.
light, it was fluffy, there was some, house DIYs. It was like total something else. But then you do get these moments where like everything crosses back over. You get served political content. I bring up TikTok because we are supposed to get a final deal on TikTok today. So
I
this is
heard
from
they're
the New York.
saying American owners I mean, well, I think Trump was saying American owners are buying it.
Yeah, so he's obviously staved off putting the ban in place for a little while, pending negotiations with China. This is from the New York Post. Trump to sign TikTok deal Thursday, ceding majority control to the U.S. I'll double check in a second to see if we've gotten our update. But the text of this article says President Trump is expected to sign a deal Thursday that will give majority control of TikTok to a group of American investors and keep the app available to U.S. users, a White House official told the Post. Oracle, co-founded by billionaire Trump ally Larry Ellison, will continue to serve as the app's data and security provider, according to the proposed framework reported earlier this week. The app's operations will be moved to a joint venture based in the U.S., in which investors like Oracle and private equity firm Silver Lake will own 80%, sinking Chinese parent ByteDance stake to less than 20%. Under the new agreement, China will not be able to access U.S. user data. The company will have a 7-member board of directors. ByteDance will only be allowed to nominate one member. ByteDance will copy the algorithm it uses to recommend content to users and lease it to the new controlling U.S. entity, according to the Wall Street Journal. What do you make of this? Oh, hi, Jeremy. You joined us.
Hi.
Hi, yes, I'm here. I think this is the end that everyone kind of expected with TikTok. I never really thought it was ever going to go away. It's just too valuable. Um, I think society would have been improved if it had been banned. Um, quite honestly, even though it is a part of my livelihood, I think a lot of
Jeremy's the
social
king of
media is.
TikTok.
Well, yeah, I don't really use TikTok because I really only like dunking on like SJW weirdos, and that's like the one thing you can't do on TikTok. Like, I can go
Mm.
on TikTok and say that we should assassinate conservatives, or that this, that, or the other thing about Israel or Palestine, or say heinous stuff about MAGA or Trump, but you can't make fun of like blue-haired weirdos, and that's like kind of my bread and butter. So every time I try to do TikTok, I get banned, and
Do you think that'll change now that it's potentially going under U.S. leadership or U.S. control?
No, I don't think so. I think there's no reason to believe that the content moderation team is going to be any different. Like, I don't know. Nina, do you use TikTok at all? You seem like
Barely.
a TikToker. Oh, just
No.
barely.
No, like I have an account. I have like literally maybe like 5 videos on there. I was trying to like push the good news stuff on there because that's actually a big part of TikTok. Like a lot of my content actually comes from TikTok with regards to the good news, because TikTok, like, I mean, I guess like YouTube, there's different spheres. Like there's the political
Yeah.
sphere, obviously, but there's a lot of like good deed spheres and stuff like that, where like people just like actually do good things and then upload it on TikTok. And people like that's kind of like the double-edged sword of TikTok, because there's a lot of people that have helped people through TikTok. Like, let's say old person is like working at Walmart.
Yeah, I've seen
Somebody
those.
like
Yeah.
like they want them to retire, so
Let
they
me
make
ask
these
you,
videos and it goes viral.
I
But
sorry, now I fucked up your guys' flow, but let me ask you, do you think
Well, because you're a man, you have too much testosterone for us.
I know, I just come in here like a bull in a china shop. But I've often felt like my opinion on those type of videos have changed over the years. And since it's a part of what you do, like, what do you make of, when you're like, well, this is obviously a PR stunt for their own stuff. However, they are also, as long as they're also still helping them. Like, remember there used to be like, I'm going to go give homeless guy this, that, or the other thing. And then it turned out like they were just faking it. The people weren't really homeless, all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
How do you discern from what's actually good?
Because I've had to vet, like I've had to vet, and a lot of times when you see the real ones, because like you'll start to, like, if you start to follow the account, usually the account is not popular. Usually the account is just like doing their own personal stuff, like, look at my dog, look at my whatever, and then they see something like that happen, and then they'll make a big TikTok video, it goes viral, and then usually they do like extreme follow-up videos afterwards, because a lot of people will tell them like, you're fake, and then they're like, I'm not fake, because like, here's what I'm doing, I've contacted this lawyer, we're gonna get them the money and blah blah blah, because they make GoFundMes and stuff. So this is a step-by-step process. And then you have the other kind of content creators who this is actually their business. Like, I forget the guy's name, but there's a couple of really big accounts.
The guy that goes into the restaurant and he's like, how much is it for a taco? And then they're like, I'll buy all of them. And then he gives them out to homeless people. Like, I think that's a net positive.
Yeah. Or like the guy that goes around and he's like, he just kind of pretends to be a bum or whatever. And he's like, can you give me $5? And then like, somebody who's like very not well off will be like, yeah, okay, here you go, $5. And then he's like, okay, here's $1,000 for you. And then he'll like give them extra money or whatever. Like those things I actually do kind of like, because I'm like, hey, no matter what, even if this is the person's business, they're actually still helping people. Like, I don't mind it. My favorite is when random people out of the kindness of their hearts do it and go viral. And I think those organic stuff do happen, less and less so, obviously, because the algorithms want to push the fake ones. But they do exist, and they do help. They do actually help a lot of people. So I've always had kind of like this kind of love-hate relationship with TikTok, because I do know that it can be used as a very force for evil, for sure.
Yeah,
I absolutely agree.
Usually when I see those type of videos and I'm like, it's like the first video they've done it and it's like highly edited and there's like emotional music on it. I'm like, nah, like this is bullshit. Like, this is not. And then like, I'm always wondering, like, I know the guy that always, buys out there, like, that's a legit thing. I look at that, I'm like, well, he obviously makes enough money from doing this, so this is a net positive.
Yeah.
But then there's people where I'm like, I don't know if you guys remember, like, there was this famous, it was like 3 people, and they started a GoFundMe that was allegedly for like a homeless guy, and it raised like 20K, but then it turned out that it was all bullshit, and I think they got sued. I don't know if chat can remind me of that, but like, they made up this whole thing and they were going to split the money 3 ways. And it was, I remember the video went mega viral. The first, I'm like, oh, what is such, this is such a good thing. And then they used to GoFundMe. And then I think that must've been a few years ago, but sorry for the random squirrel thought. A couple of
stories like that. And that's what caused me, Jeremy, because one of them, I believe I covered 1 or 2 of them. Yeah. And then later on, I realized, oh shit, that was like a total like fake. So that's why I started to vet the stories a lot more. Once you see those kind of stories, like I said, there's like a step-by-step process. If you look at their accounts, usually they're completely like just randos, Yeah. So like then they're actually like making, like, I saw one specific example where this one lady was doing it for her son, because her son was like this like 10-year-old little boy, and he was like, we need to help that guy, like he's like grandpa, and he's just like clearly affected. So like, like she was like, okay, let's do it for you, like for the kid, like, because he wanted to put this on there. And then people responded overwhelmingly, because they're like, yes, let's help this kid and his mom, like help this other other person. And like that's real. Like you could tell
Yeah.
that's a genuine thing. It's coming from a genuine
Well, it
place.
seems
I
like
used to think that the fundraising one, it's like, hey, we have a GoFundMe or we have a whatever, like those are the ones that I was like, people are manipulative. But then for a while I would get these videos that were like a guy who owned like a lawn care service, and he would be like, this house, like, whatever,
SB mowing that
he's
I
very
maybe,
popular.
I don't know.
Yeah,
Okay,
he's very
but then
popular.
someone told me that if it's him or a copycat or whatever, someone told me that they're fake, and they're like actually his relatives' houses who's like
I'm sure there are people like that, but SB Mowing puts out so many that it'd be impossible. Okay. I know what you're talking about. We're talking about, there was one where there was like a car and they were like driving by, and then people are like, wait, this is his uncle. I think I remember the story you're talking about, because we might have covered it on the show.
I think you're the one who shattered my hopes and dreams that people just did good things.
Yeah, but the mowing guy is real.
No, I love SB Mowing, and he does like actual content where he'll go and like follow up interviews. He'll follow up on stories like this. The one old woman that he helped, and like poor lady like fell down and broke a hip, and they like raised more money for her. It was like this whole thing. But I think SB is for real, and I think he's a great young man.
Well, one of the interesting things, the last thing I'll say about TikTok before, I'm just gonna let Hannah Claire run the show today, but like TikTok seems like
in charge of everything.
Yeah. It seems like TikTok's kind of the last frontier where you can actually go viral. Like even X, like it's very rare that something goes viral. Even in my limited experience on TikTok, I would have like videos, even though I was like treating it like any other channel where I upload, it would be like 2,000 views, 2,000 views, 2,000. Then I'd have a video that had like 1 million views. I'm like, what the hell? Like that used to be YouTube. That used to be Instagram. That used to be Facebook. And really, honestly, it used to be X.
Yeah.
And none of those platforms are you can't really find. That's why I'm still trying to do TikTok, except, it's a time thing. I only have so much time, and now I started a second channel, and there's this thing.
He's a busy businessman, he's got stuff.
I think you're right though with regards to TikTok. With it will all depend if their content moderation team changes or not, and it'll like that whole like the moderation of what's going on. Because if the goal is to silence, let's say, anti-Israel talk, or the fact that there's a lot of content being made about Palestine. So let's say if the goal is to kind of quash that, then yes, you're going to see a major shift. But if it's going to
switch to pro-Israel content now that America owns it.
Correct. It's gonna change. So you'll see it. Like you'll see it in real time.
See, guys, Nina is based. You guys don't know. She knows. She knew exactly where that was going. She's plugged in. Yeah. That's going to be one I guarantee you're going to see by the end of the year. Like suddenly all that Israel bad, Hamas good.
Yeah.
Those channels are cooked. That's it.
It's all going to turn into, one big.
It's going to be YouTube.
Israel love fest.
Yeah.
Do you think that means that those people will then migrate to an alternative, or is there no alternative to TikTok?
I don't think there's any alternatives left.
Yeah.
Like
there is none.
Kick? Nobody gives a shit about Kick.
Well,
there's
these
Redbook
kids, they're
and
always
whatever,
discovering a new thing. Like potentially there will be one day something that eclipses TikTok, I assume.
I don't.
Yeah, maybe.
I think if you look at it this way, pragmatically, there have been many competitors to YouTube, and there will never be, like, no matter how big Rumble gets, it's never going to be bigger than YouTube. It's just, I mean, I love Rumble, but not going to happen.
No.
Twitch, we can say all we want about Twitch is failing, and they have this. There will never be a site that does what Twitch does, that does what YouTube does, that will ever surpass them, because the moats around these businesses are so bonkers. Like, you mean to tell me not a single flippin' photo sharing website has ever been able to beat what Instagram does?
Right.
No, it's because there's crazy moats around it. Like, they own the distribution network. Like, if you want to be a video sharing website and you want to be on people's cell phones, guess what? You have to use Google Play Store. And so Google gets to decide what competitors YouTube has. Same thing with Facebook and Instagram. The same thing with TikTok. Like, I think there may be alternatives in a way that it's a different service or product. But like what TikTok does will never be not on TikTok. What YouTube or Twitch does will never. Live streaming is a little bit more spread out nowadays. Like I think Rumble does good. Kick has a few big creators. YouTube, you know,
live streaming is like also an infrastructure thing.
Yes.
Like in the early days of live streaming, there were lots of people trying to get into it, but literally being able to support it is different. In the same way that there are lots of social media accounts, but TikTok's algorithm is the thing that everyone is concerned about. Like that's why China is going to lease it to us. Apparently, they know it's really the biggest asset.
Well, the algorithms are asset.
Like, you know, looking to the future, I think all of these things are going to start looking differently anyways. Like I don't even think like YouTube is going to be the same in like the next like 5-10 years, you know, like things are changing drastically. I mean, YouTube has already changed. I mean, look at how different and like mainstream it is now, like the constant ads, the constant, like they don't push anybody, like whether it's, and unless it's like mainstream, you know, like you're not going to get anything unless it's mainstream on the first page. I would have to go look for the quartering in order to find the quartering specifically. They're never going to tell me about the quartering's content. So it's, these things are all changing. So I feel like maybe you're right, Hannah, in a sense of like maybe new platforms will come about at some point. But I just think that like the outlook of everything is going to change as well. Like, you know, look at how the mainstream are kind of trying to battle that. For example, even with basketball, like how like the Amazon has bought out, you know, Jeremy, I don't know if you're following that whole story, but Amazon's bought out like the NBA stuff and like, you know, TNT,
right, NFL.
The NFL's now on Netflix. Like, you know, they're doing live streaming on like the UFC is doing the Netflix stuff and everything like that. So
they're
think
on Paramount, I think. Yeah. You Nadio in chat wrote, you know, same thing like and Trigger, like YouTube is really just becoming TV now. That's their pivot. Like you go to the YouTube homepage, it's like, here's a bunch of Hollywood movies you can rent for $2.99. Here's a bunch of links to mobile games. Like what?
Yeah.
And like, if you look at even streaming, it's the same thing. Like, I know my viewers aren't sports ball people, but I am.
They could be if they wanted to be.
Well, if they really wanted. But
I am too.
But like, if you watch the NBA, there was like a meme that went around that's hilarious. Like, you have to watch on a different flippin' streaming service every night. Like, for me, I'm in Wisconsin, so I watch Milwaukee Bucks, and I have to pay for like FanDuel to watch their games. But if it's on a Tuesday night, they're on TNT. If it's on a Wednesday night, they're on Amazon. If it's on Thursday night, it's literally that bad.
This is too much work.
Yeah,
I would never be able to keep up with this.
The original concept was buy NBA TV and then you can get it anywhere, anytime. But then they changed it completely. And people are now complaining, like if you're a Milwaukee Bucks, whatever, or like a Utah fan or something like that, you're not going to get the games unless you pay to specifically that other place that's like distributing it to watch it. And the NBA TV is basically fucking garbage.
Right.
So like, people
so
are
is Amazon
about suing them because they're not giving what people signed up for. So
I used to be
crazy.
Used to be signed up for MLB TV, same thing, and the NFL TV. They're like, oh, you want to watch these other NFL games? Just pay us $100 a year. I'm like, okay, here's your $100. Oh well, this game's on blackout. This game's on blackout. You can't get this game. This game's on a different streaming service. And like, Amazon is a far inferior product. Every time I have to watch a football game on Amazon or Peacock, I'm like, oh, it's just garbage. And like, but that's what all these streaming services and YouTube to a bigger extent, they're just becoming mainstream television.
Yep.
And they will push out individual creators, or individual creators will have to, you know, change their content to be more like what people are getting on these other networks. Like most of what you find on like now, I mean, by the way, Disney Plus just had yet another price increase last night.
That's right.
I think the second or third one this year. Like my wife like logged in and she's like, oh, the price went up again. I'm like, this is getting outrageous. Like if you have Hulu, this is like a weird side rant, but like if you have Hulu plus Live, I think you're paying more than $100 a month for that. Like we have Hulu Live, so we get Hulu, and then we get it for all of our live TV. We also have a roof antenna, but But
You're
like,
never gonna miss anything.
well, I have the roof antenna for local TV. If I ever wanted to get rid of Hulu, because it's gotten so crazy. Like, I'm old enough to like Hannah Claire is just a wee child. She's just an embryo. Like, there was a time when I quit cable because it was like $89 a month, and it was so much cheaper to just get Hulu and Netflix, which were basically the only two that were available. But you got Hulu and Netflix, and that was everything.
Yeah, that's what I
My
did.
family
Too,
did that too.
got Netflix.
You got everything, and it was like $30 a month. Now it's like Hulu, Netflix, Disney Plus, Paramount Plus. If you want to watch From, you got to pay for flipping whatever weird network that's on. What the hell network?
I'm sharing my screen so you can see the price increase list for Disney.
There it is. Yeah.
Packaging.
There. Yeah. I mean, we knew that with ads, people are like, oh, it's $2. No, it's not $2. It's 20%.
Yeah.
Like, you have to pay $12 a month, plus you get ads. It's so crazy. Yeah. So what's the one I have? Disney. Oh, the live isn't even on here. So Disney, and by the way, it's funny that like I predicted this. So my history is in selling television. Like, I learned everything about marketing, selling. I ran all the marketing for the largest dish network distributor in America, the largest spectrum and charter provider. HughesNet. This is what we did. We generated calls, and then people called, and we signed them up with terrestrial TV. And there was a time where we're like, business is dead. You know, we got to turn into a cash cow because, you know, streaming is going to overtake everything. And I remember 10 years ago when I left, I'm like, you guys, what's going to happen is everyone's going to get greedy, and then we're just going to be paying for it's going to be the same crap. And sure enough, people are actually switching back to cable now because they're like, this is outrageous. I can't keep up. I have 6 services. I think the average person has almost 4, I think, nationwide. And, you know, 1 or 2 of them every 3 months is sneaking up the prices $2 a month. That's why I left cable.
But also, let's consider the like economics right now. Like, people can't afford eggs, and you want them to go and spend another $3 a month on fucking Disney Plus. Like, it's ridiculous. The fact that, like, you know, the economy is actually shit, and people are struggling to make ends meet, and then you're saying like, here's an optional thing that you could be doing, and then, you know, pay more for it. Like,
but
this should be pay less. Like, they're going to be putting sales on now, because when the Disney Plus specifically first started, they had that whole deal where, you know, you could get Disney Plus for free if you had a like T-Mobile plan or something.
Or Verizon.
So that's how they put a lot of people, they dragged a lot of people in because it was free. And so once that ended, then they were like, oh, here, now you got to pay us this much a month or whatever it is. Now you got to pay us a little bit more. Now you got to pay us a little bit more. But right now, what they have to be doing if they want to keep their sales service, like their subscribers, is to make sales like that, to give people free promos so that they can stick around, because otherwise they can't afford it. They're just not going to afford it.
I think they're relying on the fact that you're already subscribed, and therefore they already have your credit card information, and it's often easier for you to like click, okay, fine, bill me more, and then for them to charge you than it is for you to cancel your subsubscription. A lot of the models, right? I mean, this was something that lawmakers were
that's
like,
the gym thing. Right?
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
Well, no, there was like this whole like click to cancel move or like effort to make it easier for people who are signed up for subscriptions to get out of their subscriptions, because it's all buried in the deep end, and like, you know, it's the dependency that people have on it. Like, sometimes I think a lot of Americans do this where they're like, well, I missed it this month, I'll cancel it next month, and by the end of the year.
You know who's the worst for that is Apple Plus. Like, apparently Apple Plus is like the absolute worst. Like, they just don't let you cancel. It's crazy.
You know what's funny too? Someone in chat just put something in, and I actually totally do this too. I don't know if this is the lazy man's way or the genius man's way, but Moonrocker wrote, I have so many subscriptions, I just change my credit card so they all cancel. I literally do that same thing.
Yeah.
And then what happens is 4 months pass, and I'm like, I haven't even noticed how much shit that I was paying for. Like, I know credit card companies would probably hate that I'm offering people this advice, but like, I do that 3 or 4 times a year. I'm like, ooh, I just lost my credit card. And I've saved thousands. especially like on my work card, because I sign up for stuff for work, like, oh, this hosting, this, that. And then I'm like, even for home stuff, I'm like, oh, I open up, I bet you most people could think of, let's say you have Netflix, Hulu, Peacock, Paramount Plus. I bet you one of those you haven't opened in 3 months.
Yeah.
And it's like,
absolutely.
It's like, oh, shit. I realized that I canceled my credit card. Oh, my Paramount Plus doesn't work. Okay, I'll just put a new card number in. It's really very easy to sign up.
Right.
Like
it's a lot more easy to sign up than like sign out.
Yeah, they're happy to take your money. They don't want you to stop paying them. No, I think you're right. And like to that extent, like if you then go 4 months and you're like, oh, I actually never use Hulu, then you just don't log back in. Jeremy, before I gracefully transition us to another topic, do you want to grab any super chats or anything? Because I haven't done that yet.
Yeah, and by the way, yes, I will read that. We have one on YouTube that says, Nina, can your hair go straight? I'm sure she can straighten her hair. I've seen keratin treatments that are pretty powerful.
But curly hair is like a lifestyle, right?
Forever. Yeah, it is a lifestyle. And it just takes forever. I've done it a few times. There's streams of me with straight hair. And I have like, sometimes like, especially for Halloween, I'll do like straight hair wigs.
Oh, okay. Okay. Oh, fun fact.
Yeah.
Spike, by the way, no credit for knowing about keratin treatment, ladies. Okay.
It's estrocast. It's standard knowledge.
I guess that's true. Yeah. Spike says, the first doctor suggested their cleaning tools and hands between patients was locked away in a psych ward by the medical community. The Tylenol liberal freakout makes perfect sense. Oh, did you two talk about the woman that's in the hospital?
No, we haven't gotten there yet.
I thought that was getting community noted. Is that true?
I thought it was getting community noted, but then I saw an article on the Gateway Pundit that I bookmarked it, so I'll put it in a private chat.
Yeah.
I was like, when I saw that too, I was like, come on. Mm-hmm. But then the Gateway Pundit said, pregnant liberal woman suffers fatal Tylenol overdose after trying to, quote, prove Trump wrong, now allegedly on a ventilator. So I bet you it's fake. You have to take a lot of Tylenol. You have to take. I looked that up and like, there were people talking about, there have been people who have tried to commit suicide by taking Tylenol.
Correct.
And like, they'll take
very
like
difficult,
hundreds and it still won't kill them. And like,
because you get your stomach pumped and then your
body can only absorb so much of it.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And, but yeah, that I know for a fact
I
there
have
women.
Seen that aside, I have seen the TikTok videos of these fucking crazy bitches going on, like, 9 months pregnant, 8 months pregnant. And just like, I was talking about it last night on my show about like, just that, like, they're just popping them or whatever, just to spite Trump. And like, to me, that's just so like.
You don't want to give your kid autism to own Drumpf, Nina?
Yeah.
It's so
crazy. Like the amount of TDS that's just, that now is causing bodily harm and like harm to your unborn child is like, that's madness to me. That is madness.
Did you see go ahead, Hannah Claire.
I'm saying it's weird because like Tylenol and everyone else are like all of the like quote professional organizations are like, well, high fever can be very dangerous during pregnancy. And so like you need to be able to have something. And like that's reasonable. Meanwhile, everyone who's arguing against this Tylenol development is like, I just take it because I want to defy the government. Like they actually have nothing to do with the more logical reason why you might need to take Tylenol while pregnant. It's just literally spite.
This is a real Tylenol tweet.
Yeah, it is. And it's so crazy because I retweeted that and I was like, hey, like ladies, like, stop doing that. And a couple of lefties came into my mentions being like, you're a retard MAGA person for like, believing this fake bullshit because that's fake. And I'm like, it's literally from the Tylenol account. Like, I don't know why people are saying this is fake. Like, it's 100% from the Tylenol account. Because I usually check too to make sure that it's not some type of parody. Because Jeremy,
sometimes there are, and their company, like I think I thought for a long time the Steak and Shake account was a parody because they would be tweeting out spicy stuff and it'll go viral, and they don't have their check mark, but it actually is their account. And I'm like,
that one gets me every time because I'm like, hey, I don't want to send something stupid, but this does seem to be the real account.
Yeah, like I went and started like scrolling that Tylenol account to make sure this is not just some fucking parody account that's like making fun of Tylenol. And then I was like, no, this is legit shit because they're like talking about their sales, they're talking about their literally medicine.
Yeah, it's the real account.
And there were more than one. Like that one went viral, but ultimately people several where they're like,
it was multiple.
Don't do it.
Yeah.
There was
We don't
multiple.
like this as much.
Spike Fam
I
says,
think Robert Malone just tweeted one out where they're kind of contradicting themselves now or something like that. And
well, now
he
they're
was
probably like, well,
yeah.
yeah.
He's like, let the lawsuits begin. I was like, damn.
Yeah. The Spike Fam says, this is all a result of the removal of call centers and customer service. Companies think they can do whatever they want. They don't have to answer anyone. I think I'm not sure what they're talking about, but maybe that's a subscription conversation, and I would agree with that.
Maybe, yeah.
Z Bigler says, sign up with the deal and then cancel the plan so it'll end and not renew. So you get the service in the year ends. That's what I do for FanDuel. Like, I have to sign up because it's the only way I can watch like Brewer games, Brewers and Bucks games are on there, except for when they're not, which is like 3 days a week that I have to go on to some other network. And then sometimes I don't get that.
Oh, man.
But like, I sign up for the annual and then I immediately cancel because otherwise I don't want it to auto renew and they make it really hard. But most people forget that. And I talk like I'm perfect. Like I definitely don't do that all the time. And I definitely have shit that's, you know, like I had this Cloudflare account that annually renewed and it was like $2,700 the other day. I'm like,
jeez.
Fuck. And like, I call Cloudflare. Yeah. I'm like, Cloudflare, can I cancel that? Like, oh yeah, you're canceled. And I was like, can I get any money back? No.
What?
You
Oh my God.
Yeah. So it's like, that's a huge fuck up on my part. That's $3,000.
Right.
And I'm like,
that's crazy.
Man. Yeah. And like sometimes a company, like I'm actually thinking I might call them because this is enough money to be like, because they told me basically on the chat that they wouldn't help me. But like, if I take the time and I call them and I'm like, hey, and I rarely do this, but I'll be like, you might want to check out the size of my YouTube channel. Do you want me to talk about you butt fucking me? Like, you can keep like
do you
2
know
months.
who I am?
I only did that with the cat pee couches. That was it. The only time I ever in 5 years have ever flexed my social media presence because I bought extended warranty on my couches.
I don't know about this cat pee situation at all.
The TLDR is I have like custom furniture in my house that is expensive. And so I paid to insure it. Specifically, that insurance told me they would cover if an animal ever peed on it. Well, I've had 5 cats for 10 years and randomly out of nowhere, one of them started peeing on the furniture. Those chairs were like, I mean, it was $40,000 in furniture that they peed on. And I'm like, haha, I saved the paperwork, motherfuckers. You're supposed to, now you have to fix this. And they've been, and by the way, update, they still haven't made it right. So I went into the store and I'm like, here's the original brochure I saved. It says cat urine right here. And then here's the email that you said you're not covering it. Like, and then this has been going on 6 months.
Wow. You had to go to the store?
I went to the store multiple times. I'm going again tomorrow because they denied 2 desks, my work desks that got damaged. And after I said, do you know who I am? Then they sent me 2 brand new desks and I just kept they were just scratches on them. I'm like, but this is covered by the warranty. And I use my warranty. Like if you're dumb enough to buy an extended warranty, which people shouldn't, and literally I'm a perfect example, you better make sure you use it. So like and I don't care about the desk. I care about the furniture that I have to sitting on my patio because it smells like cat pee. Right. But it actually smells like the solution that gets rid of it. But in my mind, so they make something called like nature's whatever. It works. It doesn't smell like cat pee. Yeah. It does work. They don't smell like pee anymore, but it smells like that. And so in my mind, it just smells like pee.
You're switching one shitty smell for another shitty smell.
Yeah, it's like some
smell.
Yeah, right. It's like it's like a light cinnamon scent. But my brain just knows what I'm really smelling. I should be smelling pee. It's just smelling this. Right. And so anyway, don't buy extended warranties.
Cat pee is like the worst too, man. Freaking like ammonia,
so bad.
Man. It's so bad.
I had a friend that was like, he brings smelling salts to bowling. He's like, you want to smell smelling salts? I smelled it. I'm like, oh, it smells like a litter box. Who the hell? Like, cause it's just ammonia. And I'm like, this is gross. He's like,
oh my God.
He's like, I don't know. He said, that smells like cat pee. I'm like, yes, that's gross. I would never smell that.
Has never had a cat ever. Has no idea what's going on.
I was like, dude, that's like sticking your nose in the litter box. Like, it stinks. Why would you smell that?
Yeah,
like, oh, it's kind of cool. I'm like, no, it's not. You can come smell my litter boxes for free. I mean, that's fine.
Odd. That's an odd thing. They might have one of those conditions that, oh, so he's been kicked in the head.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Olfactory sense is a little,
That makes,
little messed
that
up there.
makes sense. Because I was like, he might have one of those conditions where like smells are different. Because there's some people that like have different smells for like different things. Like they just like their brain just picks it up differently.
Yeah.
That could be. I hope that's the case. JJ says, I hope some poor ex-husband that got screwed in a custody case catches his ex-wife doing the Tylenol thing and gets his kids back. Well, that probably won't happen. You have to be maybe the worst mom ever in history to ever lose custody of your kids. That's just the way it works. Comcast requires a cable subscription to live stream the Olympic Games. Jeez. See, that's what I mean. They find one thing that they know you want, and then they make you sign up for all this other bullshit to get it.
Yeah.
Like, you want to watch your local sports team? Well, you used to be able to do that on cable on one channel, but now you have to have 7 services. And for me, I'm just not going to watch now. Like, I'm just not. I'm out.
It should be illegal to do that for the Olympic Games. And here's my argument. I think we want to encourage.
Oh, you are an Olympic tard, though. You like your Olympics.
No, the thing is, I am such a Luddite that I haven't seen the Olympics in years unless I go to like a restaurant where it's on TV because, you know, like I don't know how to. It's just not going to happen for me. I'm not there in my technological journey. But hypothetically, like I remember being in elementary school and like we had the Olympics and you like talk about it as a class and you do whatever. Like,
it's a big deal.
When we were all excited about Michael Phelps winning all of his medals, we might have been a better country because we had things in common. Hello, Kat.
Hi, Kitty. Oh, Kitty's like, I heard somebody talking about my piss.
It wasn't him. It actually, there was a 4-month investigation for me to figure out which cat it was.
Which one
it was a big deal.
Yeah, she was peeing upstairs on the wall.
So it was the cat.
Yeah. So I put all these cameras around and I'm like, well, I'm just not going to clean it because I want to see if they go back. So then she stopped. Then they started peeing on the furniture. So I set up all these cameras and then I had to scrub footage all night, minute by minute, second by second. And then I finally caught her. I can't remember. I think I showed Hannah Claire on the show. I'm like, here you can see her, and here you can see the stream of pee coming out of her.
You need to make like a documentary style video about this, bro. Like, this is hilarious.
Okay, but Nina, he has a bunch of cats, and he initially was like, I know it's this boy cat. I know it's him.
Yeah, I thought it was him, Doc.
He was like, he's going to have to live outside. He's going to have to be a barn cat. Like, I'll take care of him, but he can't live inside, whatever. And then there was a suspicion that it was a girl cat, and he was like, well, she's old, and like, live in the bathroom. Like,
I did. I let her live in the bathroom. I let her live in the bathroom. I sacrificed the bathroom and I set up like a kitty wonderland in there with like cat trees and like a water fountain and like a little fan. And I'm like, she can live in the bathroom, but Doc has to live in the barn. Like that's, yeah.
It was a completely different reaction. It was like fire and brimstone will rain down when it was the boy cat. And then it's like his old lady cat. And he's like, well, she's had a long, hard life of living in my house. I just can't.
She did have a long, hard life and she deserved a, but anyway, now there's been one other incident where she peed on like some Legos upstairs, but for the most part, I can't figure it out. It's behavioral. I'll tell you the truth. Most people won't tell you this, but everybody I know that has dealt with this, and it is a thing with cats. Like, I talked to 2 different people when I was telling the story, and like I had the same problem. And I was like, well, how'd you fix it? And they're like, I'm like, oh.
Yeah.
You put the cat
Sometimes
down.
at the end of life, it gets a little rough out there.
It wasn't even end of life.
Is it like a territorial thing, though? I feel like it might be territorial.
It can be. In this case, I think it was just that my black cat was picking on her. And because I wasn't letting him out from upstairs. And it was just a behavioral thing. Yeah. And
I've heard
so she got territorial.
I've heard this with multiple cat households. Like that usually happens because they get territorial and they start peeing everywhere and whatever.
Political regimes change.
Well, there's no like
they fight for your love.
That's kind of what it was. They want attention. They want
attention. Yeah.
But like, it was close. I was never gonna put her down. But like, I was like, oh, you had this problem? Please, like my sister. I'm like, please enlighten me how you fixed it. I'm pulling my hair out, what little hair I have left. And she's like, I'm like, oh what? God. You didn't fix it? But your sister's
like a farm wife, right? She's
yeah,
like
but
not
so what?
Okay,
she didn't fix it. Her daughter thinks she fixed it. Her daughter thinks the cat's living on a farm somewhere. I'm like, Oh, so
send
you
him to
never
live with
fixed it.
Uncle Jeremy's farm.
Yeah, right. Yeah, I was. But anyway, yeah, she just stopped. So and anyway, the fight continues on the furniture. I think the only satisfaction I'm going to get is I'll probably force them to at least refund the extended warranties, which is like $6,000.
Or like at the very least, you should get like a partial refund. I mean, come on, that's crazy.
It said
Especially since you
explicitly
saved all the documentation, being like, "This is specifically why I got it." And
Well-
I mean, technically, you can go to small claims court. I think you'll win
I could
it.
sue them. I think I would win too.
Yeah.
The other thing is I could I also set up a sting operation when I went in there. Like I put my phone in my pocket and I talked to a salesman about buying a new chair and about, hey, does this extended warranty cover pet urine? And he's like, yes, absolutely. And I was like, okay, but has it always covered it? He's like, yes, absolutely. And I'm like, okay, cool. Well, I don't need a chair, but can I talk to the general manager? And then I was like, I didn't have to bust out the footage because the general manager was like, it should cover this.
Right.
So it's not the store that's
it's
fucking
like
me. It's the warranty company.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's not even, so it's Steinhoffel's, but this third party runs their extended warranty. So, you know, I may never get satisfaction on this. I think I could at least force them to refund my warranties. And I probably will make a video and I'll clickbait the fuck out of it and be like, I'll be like, look, this is what happened.
Imagine, Jeremy. Yes, but also imagine like how many people they're fucking over, because it's like
gotta be.
Like, yes, you have a platform, like you have a massive platform. There's a lot of people like that are like, you know, they don't. And they're, you know, getting screwed over by these people.
And part of it is like the time. They're trying to be like, if we don't give in, he will go away. He will drop this, because not everyone has the time to be like, spending a year fighting for it. I mean, it is a lot of money.
Well,
but,
if it was
difficult.
If it was like a $700 recliner, I would have went away by now. You know,
but
if it's because it's so much custom furniture.
Warranty, that's crazy.
Yeah, they count on that. They're like, oh, let's just whatever. Most people will go away, and they usually do. But
well, I would have too if it wasn't on this custom furniture. Like I was like, so it's like, well, and then, you know, so anyway, for those following this lore, I've still not received satisfaction, and I have 8 chairs sitting on my porch. Like it's covered.
Crazy. Remember, he keeps his crypto in it though, so it could be yours.
My crypto is stored there. It's bad.
I'm glad we got an update on this. I've been wondering how this saga played out. Are there any more super chats you want to read, or should we get to the YouTube of it all?
Yeah.
Okay, so I saw this post this morning. You guys probably saw it too. YouTube put out this updates from YouTube, saying we've seen some previously terminated creators trying to start new channels. To clarify, our pilot program on terminations is not yet open. It is still against our community guidelines for previously terminated users to use, possess, or create other channels, and will terminate new channels from previously terminated users in accordance to these guidelines. We'll have more to share on this limited program soon. So YouTube made a big fuss of like, yes, we will restore people, but is that going to happen, or are they just pretending?
Well, they're specifically relating to Alex Jones, talking about Alex Jones and Nick Fuentes.
Before you answer, Nina, did you do your shout out? Did you tell the people where they can find you?
We did a brief one, but we should do
another one right
now.
Yeah,
Nina, you're up.
Okay, you can find me at Nina Infinity on YouTube and Rumble on Wednesday nights at 8 p.m. Eastern. I talk about crazy clown world news and cover all of this kind of stuff. And then on Fridays at 2 p.m. Eastern, I cover Good News, Infinite Hope, where I talk about good stuff and like try to balance out the world with all the crazy shit that's going on. So, and Jeremy rates my show quite often.
I usually do on Fridays. Usually you're smartly online during that.
Yay. Thank you. So yeah, find me on here. And then my Twitter is Nina7Infinity if you guys want to follow me there as well.
Nice. I'm Hannah Claire B on Rumble, YouTube, and on X. I do videos on news, some culture analysis. I have a video up talking about the Child Care Modernization Act. This is an bipartisan effort to revamp basically how money is distributed from the federal level to improve the childcare crisis. I think the economic burden of childcare is one of the reasons that people opt not to have children. I talk about it there. Go check that out if you haven't already seen it. Thanks to those who have subscribed. Again, it's Hannah Claire B on YouTube, on Rumble, and on X. Jeremy, would you like to promote anything?
No,
one
go ahead,
last thing.
Nina.
Can I just I just wanted to say one more thing, especially for the Canadians out there. For the last couple of days, me and Viva Fry have been trying to get
the
people's attention
ostriches.
about the ostriches. Yeah, so
I thought you were going to say your curly hair routines.
well, that too,
Yeah.
because I'm sure he has one. But no, there's a big problem about government overreach going on right now in Canada, BC, and they're trying to basically kill 400 healthy ostriches because they say that they were diagnosed with H1N1 over a year ago, and is it H1?
Yeah,
I forget
avian
the
flu.
Avian
that's
flu.
right.
That one.
Yeah.
And so they want to kill them. They want to call the birds, but they are healthy and they have been healthy. And the owners of the farm had been asking to retest the birds, but they haven't. The CIFA, I believe that's what's called. It's kind of like the FDA of the United States for Canada. They are doing this, and they're doing a lot. There's a lot of government overreach going on. And Pierre Poilievre, which is the conservative leader for the opposition, it has not even made a statement. So if you guys are interested in trying to help out that situation, please follow me on Twitter and also Viva Fry, because he's doing a lot of great work on there, and people from Rebel News as well. So if you're interested, please check that out. Thank you.
There was a stay from the Supreme Court yesterday. What was with that fire? I saw there was a fire there. Is that
that's under investigation? That was before the stay came. They don't know. I actually interviewed Viva last night on my channel, and he was talking about how they don't actually know. So some people are theorizing that it was a friendly fire because they wanted to kind of stop that, because that's the line that they're going to be taking them to, off them, kind of thing, that they burned off. And some people think it might have just been to try and burn the farm down. So they don't actually know what's going on with the fire. But they also came in yesterday and shut off all the cameras, the CIFA. And they were wearing like fucking hazmat suits because they're now they're pretending there's
now they want it to be.
Now they're like, the birds are so sick. It's a crisis.
But during the past 3-4 days, the RCMP have been there without any of that medical gear at all. And so there's plenty of videos, but they are also hiding what they're doing now, because since the Supreme Court ordered that, they technically have custody of the birds, and apparently they've been torturing them by putting police lights on them overnight and having drones go in and fly over them and everything like that. So we're still, it's a battle. It's not one. So if you are Canadian and you care about this issue, please contact your member of parliament. Please contact any of these people. Tag everybody that you can think of online, and let's try and help these people out.
Nice.
I'm glad that you
shout out the ostriches.
Cool.
Yes, ostriches. See, we saved the horsies, Jeremy. Now it's time to save the ostriches.
I know. I keep saving random groups of animals, so I guess I'll get behind this ostrich thing. And
please do. Please start retweeting. And I know, RFK. Speaking of RFK, Hannah, he offered to take the birds. And they refused. So Viva's trying to make a big noise about it, about the Trump administration, and how much of an insult this is, because the Canadian government is just completely dropping the ball on everything. So
it's crazy they won't just retest the birds.
They won't. It's so crazy.
They really want to kill him. It's very weird.
Isn't that weird that you're obsessed with it?
Well, it's because they might have the answer to the coronavirus, so that's also a thing.
That's a hook.
You gotta market that angle.
That is definitely a thing, because that same farm in 2021, there was studies being done on those ostriches, so their DNA code might have what we need to defeat the coronavirus. And so they're trying to kill these things off. Look, the battle with the farmers have been going on for a long time, not just in Canada. This is going on in the US. This is going on in the UK. This is all about food production control. So because they want you to the government wants you to be dependent on them. They don't want you to produce their own.
They don't want farmers. Yes.
They certainly don't want you to have animals that might, be curing some shit that the big pharma is hooked on. So, there's a lot going on here. They've been calling chickens forever. They've been calling all types of birds, all types of animals. We don't need to be calling anymore, because technology is improved enough to be able to quarantine the ones that are affected, and not They're not
Right.
doing any of that. We have archaic rules. We have archaic things going on that are not being looked at. This is all by design because they want to control you.
Well, I'm glad you guys are.
Did you guys not know? Did you guys think I'd bring someone on here who wasn't epically based? Like I mean, everything she says is 100% true. Like, they don't want you growing your own food. Look at all the crazy regulations that they put on like Americans. Like, we can't sell raw milk. Why the fuck? Why not?
No.
Why can't I buy and sell raw milk?
Did you see just like this last summer what was going on in the UK before the immigration crisis became like into such a head? It was all about the farmers. I mean, the farmers.
Yes, they were protesting
massively and full force with like tractors. It was a tractor convoy of the farmers because shit is going to hell, people. You guys have no idea what they're doing.
Their farmers had tractor convoys as well. Like it is. I used to always point out, or one of my favorite facts about the Senate for a long time was that until the last election, there were only 2 active farmers in the U.S. Senate. And at one point, obviously, we were an agrarian society. Most of our government had direct connections, like their wealth came from farming. Now there's only one, just Chuck Grassley. Before it was Chuck Grassley and John Tester from Montana, but he's out. So
well, they also want. If you want to go, I think we talked about this on one show too. A lot of this is like also linked to this synthetic stuff they want to do. Like, they want to create these synthetic proteins. I think we covered it once where they were getting out all these grants. This isn't even like Alex Jones level stuff. This is like real stuff where they basically, if they make synthetic protein and synthetic shit, then the FDA can control it and the government can control the supply.
Right.
That's why they don't want people to have. That's why there was a big push against meat. They don't want, meat is bad. It's hurting the environment. Yeah. 1,000 years ago, when there was 20 million buffalo roaming wild in this country, the ozone was fine. But now we have 1/10 of that in terms of livestock, and we're worried about what they're doing to the environment. No, it's about this synthetic meats shit that they tried to push with the what is that stuff called? The soy
the
Beyond Meat. Yeah. They tried that, and then now they're trying to grow it in labs. I think we could maybe Chad has a link, but
I remember us talking about the lab grown meat.
Yeah, they're trying to grow it in a lab, but it's really not because they think it's better. It's because once they do that, then they can ban farm meat like they did raw milk.
This is all about like WEF shit. Like, man, the World Economic Forum has been wanting to do this kind of shit for a long time because they want to control people, and it's like that's why they want people to eat the bugs, right? Like, it's been like the whole that's been a push. Because
you don't want some chocolate covered ants? No, I don't understand.
I'm not.
Well, that I'll do it like the county fair, but I'm not gonna like
only locally produced ants. I get you, Jeremy. I'm right there.
That's the thing. They do that at my fair.
They do that culturally here in Mexico because they have like fried crickets, and I'm like, I'm not eating that. Like, there's no fucking way I'm doing the bugs. Like, there's just no way. But that's why the Mexicans will survive anything, even like a robot apocalypse. That's why the Terminator, the robots stayed away from Mexico.
They never touched it. Yeah, they knew better. Yeah, they were bug powered down there. they couldn't block out they blocked out the sun, and it didn't affect them at all.
No, well, so, remember that clip where Nicole Kidman was eating the bugs, and she's like, "This is so good," and she's just like talking about it. This is all that. This is all the.
Well, it's just so the elites will still buy meat. Like, that's the honest truth of it. Yeah. So this is his butter. Like, this was what it was. Bill Gates makes this shit butter. And like, they had a picture that went viral where it was called like, they had like a tank next to his butter machine called like dirt water or like sewage. Like, Chad, help me out on that. I tweeted it. So
seems kind of crazy that they would be affecting like dirt water.
Yeah, it was it was not called dirt or toxic, but it was some gross water thing. And like slop water. Thank you, Chad. Yeah, it was called slop water. And they were like, I'm like, you guys understand that this isn't about, we don't have a butter shortage. This is about them creating one and then replacing with shit that's owned by Bill Gates. Like,
also, we already
my brother's
a
farmer.
Believe it's not butter. You can't just make more fake butter. We already have that.
Yeah. Well, and my brother's a farmer. I can get all the butter and milk and eggs and beef I want. This is like, no, even the farmers talk about it. Like he's
Of
like, one
course.
day I'm not going to be able to have beef cattle because they're going to say, well, you need this license and that license and all this other
It's so
shit.
insane. Like in Canada, they have this whole thing where like if you're a dairy farm and you're like, you produce more than your
Yes,
sum
you have
that
to
you're
throw it
allowed
out.
to, you have to throw it out. They
That's the
are
same in
throwing
America.
out- It's
That's-
insane. They're
But then we
throwing
have other
out.
people who are like, people are starving.
Yes,
You know what I mean?
yes.
That's
And
the
you
same
can
in
feed the whole
America.
country, but you can't with that entire throwing away this kind of stuff. It's the same thing. Like it's all under the same guise.
Funny story.
Control.
My brother-in-law, who was a dairy farmer, they quit dairy farming because of that. They were like, the truck would come around and they'd say, this is all the milk you're allowed to sell this week.
Yep.
And you have to throw it out, like pour it out on the ground. And like it got so demoralizing for them that they stopped. This was 3 years ago. They just stopped being dairy farmers because they're like, this is ridiculous. Why don't we sell milk for $1 a gallon then? Like what's going on? Why are we pissing it away? So now they're just beef farmers. And like, it's the same thing. Like,
wait until they come for the beef because that's
well,
next.
they told me it's the same thing.
Yeah.
Like they have scheduled time that they can go to the slaughterhouse. They can only slaughter so many. And this is in America too. So like it's the same here where they're like, that's why a fucking ribeye steak is $47. Like my wife bought like I treat myself if I go all week and I'm healthy. Like I don't drink Monday through Thursday and I'm good. Then Friday I get a big fat ribeye and that's what I have on Friday nights. She went and got a ribeye from Sendik's, which is like a little higher end grocery store, but it's not like Whole Foods. And she was like, she called me, and this is some more Mrs. Quartering lore. Hannah Claire loves.
This is the quartering lore.
Yeah,
Nina, join.
She's
me.
like,
she's a character.
Yay.
She's
I
like,
love her.
She's
Do you know today is her
Jeremy-
baking day? She's off
Yes,
baking.
Thursday is
That's what
her
she does on
baking day.
Thursdays.
That's
She's
correct.
amazing.
She made more
Okay.
cannoli stuff today. She goes, Jeremy, this steak is like $47. It's all wrapped up, but I'm thinking, should I not? Like, she was like very concerned. I was like, no, that's how much they fucking are. And she's like, when we go to the restaurant, they're 50. I'm like, yeah, I know. Like,
She's like, so we should just go out to dinner. That's what Mrs. the Quartering's trying to tell
that's
you.
what she was saying. Yeah.
Wow.
She's like,
well, no, then when you go to the restaurant, it's 80. You're
Right.
like they're going to raise that price up. They're not going to sell you at cost.
that's it. Now it is a ribeye USDA prime, so it's like $25 a pound. But like, that's crazy. That same steak 3 years ago was $25.
Yeah, it's
and
insane.
it's the same cut. You know, like they're just trying to price.
man.
They're trying to price people out of being able to afford meat.
Yep.
Like, buy the garbage meat. You want USDA Prime? You better be a fancy YouTuber. Although, like, no family could buy USDA Prime steaks.
No.
That's crazy.
Yeah,
$50 each.
Jeremy, and that's now based on basically no. Like this is just based on nothing. Like that's why this
it's not
ostrich
supply and demand.
situation. Yeah, that's why this ostrich situation is setting a precedent. Because once they're like, oh, by the way, there's mad cow again. Now we got to start calling the cows, right?
Right.
Like this is setting a precedence for every farmer in North America and beyond. Because like I said in the UK, that this is gonna be it. Like the government just wants to control food production and farmers, and that's just the reality of things.
No, but don't worry. The USDA gives out grants to encourage diversity in farming in America, so they care a lot about food and food production.
Some black farmers got some money.
They're answering the critical questions here.
Wait, hold on. Chat says cage raised conventional ribeye is $14.99 a pound. That's just not true. Well, cage raised. What do you mean conventional? It's not like, I mean, USDA Prime from Piggly Wiggly, which is our local grocery store, is $24.99 a pound where I live. Maybe where you live.
Crazy.
Now, again, not Prime, so just USDA, what's under Prime? Choice. Like USDA Choice is $19.99 a pound, which is still fucking bonkers.
Yeah, that's
And like,
crazy. Because you used to be like 10. Like,
yeah, and even that is when I grew up, like I know, like generally both of my parents made like $35,000 to $40,000 a year. There was no way in hell. I never went without. They had money. There's no way my parents could afford steaks. Like nowadays, if you're at that same, I guess what I'm saying is like they would buy steaks and they would be like $8 each, and it was like a big deal to have that. You know.
Yeah.
Now it's like, well, you want steak? Well, it's $20 to $30. Yeah, someone said I got a couple days ago, $19.97 a pound for my birthday this week. Sadness. Exactly. Like when it's on sale, you might get under $20 a pound. Now, if you want to buy like some different cuts, you can save money, but like that proportion was always true even 10 years ago. Like, yeah, the ribeye was expensive at $10 a pound. And then you could get skirt steak, or you could get like a New York strip, or you could get something like that. But it's all relative. It's all insane. Yeah, just fact check. Kroger's $19.99 a pound. Yeah. See, that's what I'm saying. Like, and if you want prime, it's $25 a pound. And it's fucking crazy. $50 a steak. Like, we had family come over, and I'm like, should I cook steaks? But look, I don't go grocery shopping. Mrs. the Quartering goes grocery shopping. So I went to the store, and I had to buy 5 steaks, because it was like 5 steaks. And it was like $200. And I was like, fuck that. And so then the next time they came over for steaks, I got the USDA Prime, and they got different cuts. But like, still, I'm like, oh, why am I offering steaks? Like, when they want to come over, I should be doing burgers or whatever. Like, that's crazy.
Insane, man. And I'm just sharing this article just to show you guys what I was talking about. This is about that farm, and this is from 2021.
Oh, the BC ostrich farm. Yeah,
so the BC ostrich farm this is happening to, that they could have the key to the coronavirus. Now they're also having, basically they're cured of the H1N1 as well, so they also have antibodies for that. But that they just, it's crazy.
Is there
man,
a specific member of parliament or anyone that you want people to be contacting or tagging when it comes to the ostriches?
Yeah, I think Viva has a good pin tweet.
Yeah,
I don't know all the people's names. Yeah, on his
X.
So like, I would just go and follow Viva and like, tweet out whatever he's tweeting out. He'll tell, like, and also if you have a member of parliament, like if people are Canadian, they'll understand what I'm talking about. You just figure out who your member of parliament is and just at them on Twitter, or like, the CIFA or whatever. Like, I mean, that guy, the dude that's the CIFA owner that's like basically in charge of all these like people, these ostriches being killed. First of all, his account went protected yesterday.
I saw that. Yeah.
And and then he also has like he has pronouns in his bio, which is like so fucking like, like he just looks like such a piece of shit. Like, I just hate all of these people so much.
They're all garbage. Yeah, really makes you think, like, are they doing this because they don't want, whatever?
It's prime for conspiracy thinking, for sure.
Oh, I know. Well, I mean, look, how do we discover vaccines? Well, we defeat the infection, and then we use that to develop these vaccines.
Yeah.
If there's some sort of cure for coronavirus, well, then they can't sell you their vaccine. Yeah,
right,
which is giving you myocarditis, allegedly.
Well, and they can't treat you when you're sick too. So you're taking away all their versions of making money. It's annoying to them.
Why is Chad arguing with you? Choice ribeye is $80 for 6 ribeyes. I don't remember the per pound price. I'm in Dallas. I mean,
Dallas might be different though, because you guys have a local
choice
economy,
is
right?
Not prime. And also, of course, it depends on the size of the steak. So if it's $24.99 a pound, and my steak's like $45, it tells you I'm getting like a pretty big ribeye. I can't even eat the whole thing in one sitting. I usually reheat it, which is blasphemy, but like, so is throwing it out.
I feel like it's better to reheat it than throw it away. We just talked about the milk here.
That's the throwing out is way worse.
My thing is, I'm fighting the power by buying the big fat steak still, because I'm like, hey, I'm not buying a smaller steak, assholes. Lower the price. Like, what they're trying to do is get people to buy smaller steaks because they can't afford. I didn't ask for that cut. That's what the butcher cut. You know what I mean? It's not like I was like, I want a massive steak. That was just what the steak was. I mean, yes, your mileage may vary out there. If you live but I can tell you, anybody could look at Kroger or Walmart and set your location in Wisconsin and see I'm telling the truth. Like $20 to $25 a pound. Again, ribeye.
You know what? People are doing that before Trump became president. Like, they were doing the Walmart thing. Like, oh, look at my sales from 4 or 5 years ago.
A couple years later.
Yeah, people need to start doing that again. Like, let's say a year after Trump has been president. Like, let's see if that changes. And then do another one. Like the following year, and just see if that changes. Because it's interesting to just kind of take a look at all that and see how far we've come, because I believe you, Jeremy. I think it's like the prices are actually insane. I mean, in Canada, I remember like when I left, like this was like 7-8 years ago, they had like the chicken prices were already going so high, and that was at like local
Chicken and
market
steak are
stores.
close to the same price.
Yeah.
Like
It
if you
was-
buy
yeah.
like a New York
It was
strip,
insane, and that was like local, like in the farm, not even in Vancouver. Like this is like 2-3 hours outside Vancouver, where it was, it's like farmland where like
Yeah.
they're actually produced, and you're like, and the prices were so high, and now it's just unbelievable now, like how high the prices are. That's just like
Right.
like I said, 7 years ago. It was
yeah,
already
chat's
getting crazy.
telling me to get a half a cow. I did. There is somebody who sells half a cow. Like, well, my brother-in-law said I can buy a cow from him, but I have to wait like 8 months or a year because of whatever, like where they are in line for like
Yeah.
getting going to the butcher shop. And I was like, so then I started looking online. Yes, it is cheaper if you buy in bulk. Yes, it can be cheaper if you shop the sales. Yes, you don't need to buy USDA Prime. So I think I've addressed all the, all the pushbacks. But if I'm buying a steak, I'm buying USDA Prime. And I just don't eat steak that much. But when I do, I want a good one. And when it's the same price as chicken, I remember my wife's like, chicken breasts are like $4 each. I'm like, well, just give me a steak. You know what I mean? Like, well, what is this? Like, I don't know. It's out of
I
control.
think the point is that no matter what you're into, like even if you're like, oh, like I'm just gonna go with the basic, like the most basic shit, like even that will become unaffordable at some point. Like the way the way things are going, that's what it's designed to do, and that's why you should all start becoming farmers of your own, kind of like making, like make gardens, do whatever it is you have to do. But like fight back, definitely.
Sorry, Hannah, let's talk about YouTube.
Oh no, I think this is a fascinating discussion. I'm also glad that we always reference Viva and the ostriches this week, but I'm glad we had someone on to talk about it because I think it's a good story to follow. I'll double back to YouTube here. So obviously they have put out this statement saying, well, we said that you could come back, but also you can't make a new channel yet. And we're going to talk about it more later. To me, this was like sickening. Like, I don't trust YouTube anyways.
They flip-flopping already. Like, it's so crazy. It's like, I mean, pick a freaking lane, bro. I don't know. Like,
right.
One second, they're like, we're all for free speech. By the way, the whole fact that they admitted that they were taking people off the air because the Biden administration told them to or whatever is already ridiculous on its own. Like the fact that they're actually admitting this fact is so crazy to me. I know so many people that were banned. And I think you were banned too, weren't you, Quartering? Like
briefly.
Briefly. I know Adam Krigler was several times. There's like so many YouTubers that I know like that were taken off the air unjustly, especially regarding COVID and especially regarding the election, which they called election denial for like the longest time. It's like, I mean, this is so ridiculous. And then like they come to course correct and then they're like they're fumbling on the course correct, and it's like, dude, pick a fucking lane, man.
Did you notice Hannah Claire, did you notice the language in this? So first it was YouTube says, now not to like simp for YouTube, they did say they would be bringing back people who were banned for COVID misinformation and election denial. Alex Jones was not banned for those things.
No.
Nick Fuentes was also not banned for those things.
I don't know what Nick Fuentes was banned for. Was it like saying the N-word?
Hate speech for sure.
Yeah.
And
I bet
Alex
they didn't even
was
give him a reason. They're just like, you're too scary to us. Get out of here.
But we all know that YouTube just uses the hate speech nonsense as like a catch-all.
Yeah.
We all know that they were banned.
An umbrella term.
Alex Jones happened to be banned two months before the election. What a coinky dink, the midterm elections, I think it was. But what I found so hilarious about this tweet is they said they added these new qualifiers that they did not have yesterday, where they're like, it's a limited pilot program.
Yes,
it's like,
limited pilot
bitch,
program.
you didn't say that yesterday. You
What
said
does that
you were
even
going to
mean?
unban that. Yeah.
No, what got me was like, it started with like, they got caught and suddenly they're like, we're going to restore accounts. Like now that the Biden administration, like they're looking for this pat on the back, like they're doing something wrong. And then they add the like context of misinformation or health related stuff. Like majority of the people we banned, we're probably not going to restore. And now you get another qualifier, limited pilot program. And also well,
The program
you
isn't
can't
even
make
for
a new
sure.
account. That's
Right.
the thing that bothers me. Like, if they're gonna get unbanned anyways, why don't you just let them make new accounts?
No, but the
can't
whole
do that.
idea is so ridiculous to be like, it's a limited pilot program to course correct on something that we were originally completely wrong on to begin with. And basically, they twisted our arms from the government to be able to do this. So, this whole idea is ridiculous on its own. It's like, just unban the accounts. You have access to all of them. Just unban the accounts. It's over. There's no pilot program. There's nothing. This,
That's what X did.
Sorry, exactly. That's exactly what X did.
No, they can't. They can't lose control. I mean, and we're saying Biden administration twisted their arm. How hard do you think the Biden administration had to move to do that?
They sent
I don't
an
think
email.
very hard.
Yeah,
like I think there was
email.
Right. I think it's not like YouTube was this poor bullied entity. Like they're kind of trying to present themselves as. They obviously have a lot more autonomy over this issue than they are kind of now pretending they do. This is something they could fix. They do not want to let these people back on. Their bias
they got
is
the
still
call.
there.
They got the call since that message yesterday. They were like, wait a minute, you don't mean Alex Jones and Nick. Now, again, even when I first covered this, I said, I put Nick and Alex in the thumbnail. Haha, yeah, obviously. Because when they talk about unbanning famous bands, it's Nick Fuentes and Alex Jones. There's a few more, Robert Malone, and he should be restored because he was a literal.
I mean, that was COVID related for sure.
Yeah, that was for sure COVID related.
I don't know if like maybe Milo.
Yeah, he was also banned for hate speech.
Stuff.
No, he was hate speech too. Yeah, I looked up all I went back this morning and looked up all the articles, and I was like, none of these people are getting unbanned. But also the frustrating thing is they weren't banned for that. They were banned because they were speaking out against, Alex.
I mean, I know Alex specifically, he was banned during the time where where
it was pre-COVID.
Well, it was pre-COVID, and it was the first call. It was the first call, and it was about basically conspiracy theory media, like UFOs. Yep. It was anything to do with hyper strangeness, that kind of stuff. All of those channels were gone. Like any sort of UFO channel, they called them all around the same time as they were doing
Conspiracy Tube. Yeah, it got hit.
Yeah. That was when Alex was taken down because he was the biggest one.
That was 2018. I think that was before Sandy Hook even.
I think so.
Or was it?
Yeah.
Or was it after?
No. That was after. That was after
2012.
Yeah,
because that's the thing. All of those conspiracy channels, is there a chance that they were just sacrificial lambs so that they could continue to also go after Alex?
Were because they absolutely were, because I remember at the time, because I was into that kind of stuff. I love me a good alien story, UFOs, whatever, hyper strange, whatever you want to call it. I was so into that kind of stuff. So all of the channels I follow started getting banned. Every single one was banned. And then of course Alex Jones was the biggest one and he got banned. But that was a big deal back then, because we were first they came for Alex Jones and everybody said nothing, because it was the weirdo conspiracy theory people are getting taken down. Who cares about UFO talk and blah, 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 and nobody was saying anything, but not a big amount of people were saying anything.
And also those channels aren't huge. They have followings, they're growing, but they don't have the mainstream outreach. So when they start taking them down, if they can't really advocate for themselves. And then you get to a critical mass where they take someone like Alex Jones down, who does have a following, but at that point he's, his reputation is tarred by a bunch of stuff. It's just such an ugly process. But I don't think that when Elon Musk bought X, there was this the energy is changing. I'm so glad Doc is here to consult on this topic. Yeah.
By the way, I take full credit for Alex getting unbanned.
Yeah.
Just so people forget, I tweeted to Elon and told him it was time to unban Alex Jones. He responded to me and ran the poll. I
said,
think,
thank you, salty cracker. I'm so glad.
Right,
yeah.
He had this weird bias against Alex because he was like, the Sandy Hook shit, and
it was the Sandy Hook stuff. Yeah,
it was very weird. And he did this I held a child as they died, and blah blah blah. I was like, what the fuck, dude? By the way, Elon Musk's dad fucking his own kids right now. Anyone see that story?
Oh my god, what? Wait,
you didn't hear that?
No, I did not.
He fucked his daughter, and then she's pregnant with his kid.
Is it his like biological dad, or is it?
It must be Step. I hope.
I thought he was Woody Allen. Allen.
Yeah.
I'm like, what is this? Some Woody Allen shit?
Yeah.
Dude, what the fuck's going on?
Yeah,
I have not
saw
heard
that.
about this.
Yeah, so Elon, maybe worry about kids in your own family. But like, it was such a weird hill to die on for him. I was like, dude, you got to unban Alex. What are you talking about? And like,
Also, like
he
principle.
eventually
Like
did.
if you're becoming more free speech, it also has to be some speech you don't agree with.
Right.
Yeah.
That's
Elon
why
Musk,
like hate
dad.
speech is becoming a thing. Like what happened with Pam Bondi.
His children
and, like,
and
what
his
they were saying.
stepchildren. His biological kids and his stepchildren, sexual abuse, multiple accusers.
Oh my god!
I've always heard that Elon Musk and his dad have a terrible relationship.
Yes.
It sounds
I
like
wonder why. I wonder if Elon was abused. I'm
Oh
sure.
my
I mean,
God.
How horrible.
Yeah.
Oh my god, that's so gross. I mean, I don't. This is all alleged. I'm guessing. Like
He's
this is
sexually
crazy.
accused of sexually abusing 5 of his children and stepchildren starting in 1993.
Oh my
Oh
god.
my god!
Yeah. So again,
I saw that dude go on Piers Morgan and give an interview about like, his son and how like he regrets like
I know. Yeah.
treating Trump like shit and what he did about like what he said about Epstein and stuff like that. And I'm like, he was like pretending like he's so close with Elon, and I'm like, dude, I don't
Elon-
think the guy's talked to you for like years. I don't know
Right.
what you're
Elon
talking
doesn't
about.
even talk to his own children. You know what I mean? Like,
that's definitely a thing. Yeah.
yeah. So I don't think he's talking to his dad. I know he keeps his mom around a little bit.
No.
But I
Yeah, he
don't think
does.
he's been around his
He
dad in a long time.
He loves his mom. He like just goes everywhere with her and everything. But you know what? What's so crazy is like as much as Elon Musk has been great for free speech and stuff like that. I cannot stand the dude because I cannot stand his like transhumanist ideology.
based.
Like I fucking cannot stand it.
And
like his entire shindig with like, let's repopulate the earth without the nuclear family. Get the fuck out of here with that shit.
Yeah, it's like conservatives get confused because like he'll do one right thing, right? He'll be like free speech
Yeah.
on X, or he'll like tweet a Bible verse, and they're like, he's amazing, and then you want to be like,
Yeah.
hold on. Mm.
Yeah.
So
To
you
be
can
fair, I have
wrong.
also been on the let's not pretend Elon's a good person train.
Oh yeah,
I care
mean,
less about the Neuralink stuff, but like having 10 kids, 15 kids, using like,
Try
just
100.
Yeah, right. That's probably the closer to the real
'cause there
number.
are tons
yeah.
that we don't know about for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, and not being involved in any of their life. Like, yeah, by the way,
And
chat
then
is
flat out
clamoring
rejecting
for a
some of them.
regular
And
chat
then
is
flat out rejecting some of them, Jeremy, because like understand that like yes, the stuff with Ashley Sinclair was insane. Like yes, she's
Yeah.
a great crazy grifter. Yes, all that, right? But she did have his child, and now he's completely rejected that child because
Yeah.
she stood up
So
to him.
and there are
It
dozens
doesn't
more
matter.
like that.
Yeah, it doesn't.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter that she's a fucking grifting bitch. That's still your kid. Like you should still care about you should still give a shit about your fucking offspring. He does
Yeah.
not care about his offspring. It's the same thing with what was her name? The one in Canada that has birthed some of his children too.
Grimes.
Oh,
Grimes.
Yeah, Grimes. Yeah.
She was trying to get a hold of him because she was like, "Oh, I had to go to the emergency room with your baby," and like
She had to
you're
tweet
nowhere to
him.
be found. She had to tweet at him. Yeah.
Yeah.
And so like it goes to show like he literally doesn't give a shit. Like he once they pop him out, like that's it as far as he's concerned. He's done his job of
Except for X.
repopulating the earth.
For whatever reason, he keeps a little X around. Like Chad is clamoring for a regular Nina appearance, so I don't know if we can make that happen. But
I think that'd be great.
to wrap it up, Elon is not a good human. I have a lot of concerns about Neuralink.
Me too.
I'm fine. I'm glad we have Starlink. It is, it's important for my business. X.
He can do lots of good things and have lots of great creative ideas. You don't need to make him your moral king,
Yeah.
Like
Oh yeah.
I'm sure he'd be
Exactly.
interesting to talk to, but I don't necessarily think that you should model your life after him.
Right. And don't fall for the whole like let's repopulate the earth, because repopulating the earth means nothing if you don't have present fathers in the household to train the kid about fucking values.
What is that?
What
A
is that?
twisty tie. If there's a twisty tie anywhere in the house, that cat will
The
fucking
cat
find
was
it.
my cat is the same way. She
Yeah.
loves twisty ties.
Yeah. I like let him play with it if I can watch him, but there's metal in it, so I'm like, I don't want
Yeah.
you to eat that and have to have a $5,000 surgery. That's what
Yeah.
we have a rule in this house. Everyone gets one. That was his first surgery. He was like chewing on a bottle cap, and he like broke a piece off and he swallowed it and it cut his stomach up. And
Oh
I
my
was like,
God.
and that was like
Gosh.
$4,000, and
Wow.
everyone gets one. So if it happens again,
Like,
that's it.
Which is like serious because you have like 6 cats, 4
I'm
dogs.
saying you got to
like,
draw
a
the line.
giraffe.
Yeah,
I can't just keep paying for all that stuff. It's crazy. He's looking at me right now. He's like, "I'll chew all the
Why you
fucking
take that
twisty
from
ties
me?
I want." Yeah.
He's like, I worked hard for that. This is rude.
I don't know where he found it, but he found
One
it.
time I had like my cat, she had like a twisty tie in her mouth, and I was trying to take it out because I was like, okay, that's enough, because she's like about to eat it.
Yeah.
And she starts going like, "Rrr," and she she like not only hisses at me, she was like howling at me.
Oh, like the
"Get
real,
away
like the
from my-"
alley
yeah,
cat
like a
fighting.
real, like,
Yeah.
yeah, like,
Look,
and I was like,
that was her prey.
"Oh."
She gathered
Well,
it for
yeah.
herself, not for
She
you.
was like, "Don't you dare take my prey away from me. I work hard for this shit." And I'm like, dude, okay, sorry, but I'm taking it. I don't care. You're not
I mean, you
swallowing
have
that
to for their
thing.
safety. You know,
Yeah.
you did the right thing, but
Yeah.
Yeah. The moral of the story is, Elon Musk is a good inventor, but a bad person. YouTube never really gave a shit about. They were never going to restore anybody really controversial.
Mhm.
I'm going to keep an eye out on like Malone. There were a couple of big, like Malone. There's a couple of big guys that I assume they're going to restore, but they'll never restore the thousands of small guys that
No.
they ended up banning or shadow banning or whatever.
Correct.
So
I mean, I know YouTube shadow banned me, and I know exactly the video was at too. It was the one I made about Ezra Miller, where I started talking about the possible pedophilia angle, and my channel died. It was like an instant, like somebody pressed a button and the
well, didn't
growth
he have
stopped
little
right
kids
at
in his?
20K.
Didn't he get in trouble for like having like hanging out with some little kids or some shit like that, or giving them alcohol? Am I mixing that up?
It was a complicated situation. I did like a whole series about it, and like that literally killed my channel. And like I've thought about doing a follow-up because there's been more news that came out from that.
Mhm.
And like, I should do an update, but like technically like my channel is basically dead because of it. Like anytime you started to talk about that aspect, like if you started talking about, pedo wood or anything like that, they would just
especially if
kill
you
it.
link homosexuality and pedophilia. That's always that's a big one. That's a big no-no. These people worship Harvey Milk, but they always seem to forget that as a grown man, he was fucking a 13-year-old, and he messed him up so bad that he hung himself. People, that's an inconvenient fact. I mean, we have fucking stamps in the United States Postal Service that celebrate Harvey Milk. Harvey Milk was also involved in, I believe, that church. Correct me if I'm wrong. I think he was involved. Was he involved with that church where they all killed themselves in
the Jim Jones church?
Yeah, I think
I
he
have
was
no
also
idea.
He was
involved in that.
sympathetic and like visited it, but it's not like he attended it.
Yeah, there was
Jim
some
Jones like
weird-
went off, like he like targeted progressive.
He brought in
community.
gay people to his church and stuff like that
Yeah.
too. Yeah.
I
There's
only know
some
like the
cities-
movie that they did like with like Sean Penn for like of his life or whatever. I never watched that movie. I was like,
no.
oh no.
I was like, this guy is actually not a good person. Not to Heaven's Gate. Yeah. They would have been the People's Temple, Jim Jones. But I could be wrong about the People's Temple and him, but I don't think I am.
I think he did visit it because it was based in California. And again, like Jim Jones took this, like, we're welcoming and progressive and we love diversity. Like it's a cross section of the same people. But again, I don't think Harvey Milk was like a member of the People's Temple.
Yeah. He wasn't. He certainly wasn't there when they ascended until Pluton or whatever the heck they thought they were going. Well, I think we're actually out of time. I want to be able to raid Viva. So do you girls want to do one last shout out to where they can find you? And I'll be live tomorrow, just so everyone knows, an hour early. It's just the boys tomorrow, just us kids, just us bros. Friday's me only, but I also go live an hour early. So don't forget, I always see people in chat when I'm wrapping up the show. Usually what happens is like, I go from like 7K viewers to 30K viewers at 2:00. And I'm like, damn it, I wanted to be done streaming. And everyone's like, oh, I forgot that you're an hour. I've been an hour early for like 6 months now. No more excuses. Nina,
That's
let
mad,
the people
guys.
know. Yeah, let the people know where they can find you.
Well, thank you so much for having me on again, Jeremy. It was really fun. It was really nice to meet you, Hannah Claire. So thank you. Thank you for the good conversation. You can find me at Nina Infinity, and tomorrow I will be doing the Good News Infinite Hope show if you guys are interested, and that is live on YouTube, Rumble, and X. So follow me anywhere.
At 2 Eastern, right? Is
2
that when you're
p.m.
live?
Eastern. That's right.
Right after my show.
Yeah, right after
So
Jeremy's show.
back-to-back content for you guys tomorrow from
Yeah.
Nina and Jeremy.
Absolutely.
That's awesome. Nina, it's been so fun having you on. Thanks for bouncing
Yeah.
around topics with me while Jeremy,
fun.
you know, tended to the farm, or I don't know what he was
And
doing.
you did great. Like you were like, I'm so like I don't know what I'm doing. You did.
I
just
always
fine.
get nervous, you know. It's hard to carry someone else's show, especially when they
Yeah.
could fire you.
I
Oh,
totally
yeah.
get it.
Well, I'm not kidding. That's
You
real.
did
But
great.
anyways, no, thanks to both of you. It's always fun to be here. I love Estrocast. I would love if Nina would come back. If you guys want to see my work, it's on Rumble and YouTube. It's Hannah Claire B in both places. Like I said, I have a video up about a bill I think you guys should consider, and I'll have another video up shortly. You can also follow me on X, Hannah Claire B there as well. Thanks for all the support. Jeremy, good luck with your show alone tomorrow. Just Lone Wolf Cast, I guess.
Yeah, Lone Wolf Cast.
And
Did
we
he just
lose
freeze?
him. See, they don't like Lone. He's being throttled as well. Shadow banned
Oh my God.
everywhere.
Oh my God, he just like froze.
I get censored on my own show. The
Oh, there you go.
yeah, we'll see you guys tomorrow, 1 Eastern, so noon Central, and hope to see you all then. Go say hi to Viva, everybody. We'll see you later. Bye, everybody.
Free the
Bye.
ostriches.
Yes, free the
That's so
ostriches.
true.
Save
Hi,
the
Viva, tell us
horses.
about them.